1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Are you working out, eating healthy, doing all the right things, but still not seeing the right result? Well, it could all be down to your metabolism. But now, there's a way of understanding how your nutrition and lifestyle fit into the bigger picture. Learn how your body shifts from burning carbs to burning fat for energy with Lumen. Go to lumen.me right now for 30% off. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It takes just a single breath first thing in the morning, and Lumen immediately analyzes your metabolism, telling you if you're burning fat or carbs, and gives you tailored guidance to improve nutrition, workouts, sleep, and stress management. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. Get something tailored to your body's needs with Lumen. Go to lumen.me today and get 30% off. Plus, listeners can get an additional 15% off by using promo code Radio50. That's promo code Radio50 at lumen.me to get an additional 15% off your first purchase today. LUMEN.ME, promo code Radio50.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. Tiffany Justice, Moms for Liberty, will be here a little bit later. We have Democrats feuding in Philadelphia. I side with Bob Brady on this. In the middle of a national storm, he's a guy who remembers. He texted me right before the show and said he remembers our bet. And that'll happen. I don't know if he'll come on because of the most viperish of Democrats trying to blame him for the failings of Kamala Harris. And just a side note, do you remember the name Brandon McPhillips? Probably not, but I remember it. Remember the name Helen Gim? He was the Helen Gim guy. And he now was the Kamala Harris guy here in this area. How did that work out? He put out a news release, never happened as far as we can tell, on another member of the media, talk radio host, to like 200 outlets. I was honored by it, attacking me because Democrats came on my show. And I had written an article said, yeah, I may have to move out of Philadelphia, not out of the United States, if Helen Gim is elected mayor. And he had a big sign up, start packing. Okay? So that guy is the one feuding with Bob Brady, who did a good job for Democrats. It's the old dog food thing. They don't like the dog food. I mean, it's not the same thing in Philadelphia for Biden as it was for Harris. It is different. All right, we're going to have Sherelle Parker, too. We'll have some sound of that later in the show, is speaking to Mayor about what happened in Philadelphia in this area. They're in shock around all this. And RFK Jr. is the one that is the most intriguing, but we're going to talk about the cabinet. And we're going to talk about Scott Presler, a woman named Dr. Jan Haley Hayes, who's a psychologist, Dr. Shrink, she calls herself. I happen to see this on Twitter. We're trying to get her on. She said in an article in the Daily Mail, and look, this is one of those statistics that's too good to be true. In an article in the Daily Mail, that Scott Presler registered 180,000 first-time Amish voters. That's their stat. Now, I can't imagine. His crew, his whole team. I don't know. I didn't ask him that. I don't know if he would take credit for that. But this is a Daily Mail, one of the biggest newspapers in the world, with like 8 printed pages on Scott Presler. So we got to do something to honor him. He, as much as anybody, is why Pennsylvania went red, at least in the manner that it did. Doesn't happen just by policies and Trump and all that. There's a lot of other people that made this happen. So she was a member of various transition teams, this Dr. Jan Haley Hayes, and I saw that nugget today. If that's accurate, I think the Amish are voting almost universally for Trump after all the government overregulation over the raw milk and everything else that was involved. So let's start with the RFK Jr. cut. But then on top of that, we have a cut of Joe Scarborough today with Mika. Joe apparently did not know about the price of butter and was stunned when Mika had to interrupt and tell him what that was. So let's start. Here's RFK Jr. with a reporter, and they start talking about Fruit Loops. Now, I don't think RFK Jr. is necessarily saying we're going to ban Fruit Loops for kids. That would be ridiculous. But he does talk about the number of ingredients that are in Fruit Loops here versus other places. Listen to this.
We have 4.2% of the globe's population. So whatever we were doing in this country was the worst of every country in the world.
So in order to do that, you say clearing out the corruption in your terms. Would that mean clearing out the top level federal service workers that are currently at the FDA and the CDC?
In some categories, I would say.
What does that look like? Yeah.
In some categories of workers, there are entire departments, like the nutrition departments at FDA, that have to go. That are not doing their job. They're not protecting our kids. Why do we have Fruit Loops in this country that have 18 or 19 ingredients, and you go to Canada and it's got 2 or 3?
Would you eliminate any of the agencies?
To eliminate the agencies, as long as it requires congressional approval, I wouldn't be doing that. I can get the corruption out of the agencies. This is what I've been doing for 40 years. I've sued all those agencies. I have a PhD in corporate corruption, and that's what I do. And once they're not corrupt, once Americans are getting good science and are allowed to make their own choices, they're going to get a lot healthier.
All right, so there is RFK Jr. Talking about Fruit Loops. Now, I don't know why we have what we have here versus Canada. I get a little anxious when I hear we're going to be like Canada. But what I like about RFK Jr. is the idea of starting to debate these things, of starting to take a look at some of these things and see if they're causal of anything. So we'll get Dr. Marty McCary back on the show and go through a laundry list of them. Here's a big question today, and I'm going to tell you, on most of these, I agree with where I think President Trump seems to be going. What should be the jobs in the first 100 days or day one? Now, not at the top of the list, but the wind, the offshore wind situation, that needs to be dealt with. But in addition to that, what are some of the other big things by executive order or by action by Trump? One, movement on the war in Ukraine. Check. Now, that's going to be an acid test for Trump to see exactly what it is that he proposes that Putin would go for and the Ukrainians. I don't expect any magic there. If you do, you're kidding yourself. I don't think the Ukrainians are going to agree to any mix of territories there, as far as we can tell at this point early on. Will they get a ceasefire? Maybe. So on Ukraine, that's a big one where Trump is going to make a move that's going to be different than what Biden's doing. Shutting down the border. We know how to shut down the border. We know what Trump did before. You have to stay in Mexico for asylum. In fact, now we have a surge toward the border, and the Biden people, I think, are just going to let him in, and they're going to go back to the policy they had before. That's what it appears to be. So shutting down the border, I think Trump can order to go back pretty much to what we did before. Now, here comes a ticklish one. I don't think first day in office, even first weeks, you're going to see tremendous amount of movement on this. But I'll tell you what movement you are going to see. Mass deportations. All right, we're going to be going after criminals. And during the transition time, whoever Trump appoints, or is ready to appoint, or they're talking to, they're going to be developing a list of people that are here, sanctuary cities that are not, that are clearly violating the law, that have had multiple situations, and we're going to move on them. There would be thousands of them. What do we do after that? How will the deportation be done? I will tell you clearly, I don't think anybody knows. I don't think they know the mechanism yet. They're going to get together, due diligence, and they're going to talk about how do you do that and who would qualify after the criminals. It's not going to be just day one. Suddenly, we're deporting 20 million people. They're going to study it. I think J.D. Vance will be involved, and there's going to be movement on that. So on that one, I think Trump will do a lot early on, but not anything that's unbelievable. Now, here's one that's of interest, and we may go back and forth on this. And you can call me, and I'll listen to you. All right, Trump has talked about pardoning the January 6 rioters. Now, I would say this has to be done on a case-by-case basis. I'm not on board. I'm not a hack. I'm not going to say pardon all the January 6 rioters. If you are, you can tell me why. People that engaged in attacking police, for example, and have had their day in court, and there's evidence of that. Now, if we're talking about the penalties for any number of these rioters being too harsh versus other criminals, yeah, that's something you could look at. That would be commuting their sentence, meaning they've already served enough time, something like that. But those involved in attacking the Capitol Police and have had their day in court, and there's evidence of that, no, I'm not pardoning them. Why would I pardon them? Because it feels good, just because we're lumping all these. I'm not lumping them all together. There are some people that barely did anything, walked through there, and had the book thrown at them. That's where we should go first, getting them out of jail, clearing their name in some cases totally. That would be the pardon. But 855-839-1210, are you on board that Trump early on would pardon? Now, I don't think he'll do that. But if he did, I'm telling you now, no, I'm not on board with that part. Next part, repeal the electric vehicle, repeal all that you can on the Green New Deal. Absolutely. Impose tariffs. I don't think Trump will impose the tariffs early on. I think he'll threaten to do that. He's trying to use them as a bully pulpit to get China and to get American companies to give us fair trade. But he might do that in the first few weeks. You might see something as a test case in order to put this forward. Here's one that I don't know that Trump ever said this. I'm reading this from the Washington Examiner. Give green cards to college graduates. No, I'm not doing that. Well, wait a minute now. They graduated college. We want them to. No, I'm not giving them green cards. If you want to do that, I don't get it. You have to explain why. Henry will pick you up. 855-839-1210. Fire the special counsel who indicted him. Yes, that will happen. Pardoning himself, I don't know that that'll be necessary. We see today that the judge in New York, and that's a state case, there's talk that he would remove those charges, those penalties. I know that's shocking, but I think that could happen. All right, one other thing that I'll give you the side question. Get in out of those things. I think most people who voted for Trump want him early on to do it. And I'm looking for the sound. We'll play it for you. We'll get it soon enough here. Joe Scarborough this morning.
I've got it.
Oh, you do? Okay, let's play it now because I think people will have a reaction to this. Here is Scarborough and Mika, of all people. Not that I think she does the shopping. This is how out of touch they are. And this is the thing where people like Scarborough are saying, well, why didn't the Democrats say this, that, or whatever? There is nothing you can say about prices at the supermarket. There's nothing you're going to do. I don't care how brilliant you are. I love to argue, but I can't argue this. People know who did it. We know what the cause was. The trillions they pumped in so Joe Biden could be LBJ and FDR. That's what did it. And to get out of that, you have to ease up on the energy restrictions. You have to get the government out of things. You have to stop anything that is remotely inflationary. And they don't want to do that. So Joe's bloviating about what he would have said. And then it comes up that butter costs almost $7. I checked it. Giant online. And they're saying save, shop online. And it was a generic, Land O'Lakes, one of those. It was $6.49. So close to $7. And that's a value because you're doing it online. And Joe was stunned by this. Listen to this exchange.
That probably contributed a good deal to it. I want to talk about economy for a second. A few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, somebody who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris came up to me and said, "Oh my God, Trump's going to win." I go, "Why is that?" He goes, I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it? Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, good point. But it actually, what everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just saying,
is
the $7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
Yeah.
What?
Some
Is
places.
it framed in gold?
Yeah, what kind of butter?
Depends
Anyway.
on where you go.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Well,
$7.
anyway, my point
Oh,
is
anyway,
this,
Mia,
Will.
your point is nothing. Stop it there. She got you. Mika, of all people. He was trying to make the point. That's kind of reducing everything down to the price of butter or eggs. Yeah, Joe, it is reducing it toward it because you've diminished the middle class with this. They have to constantly be making decisions to stay within budget. That's not America. You don't worry about that. She doesn't shop. I can't see Mika at Giant. Hey, Mika, love the show this week.
Oh, she shops at Whole Foods and you know it.
Well, I don't think she shops is the point. Aside from the Whole Foods, yeah, that may be the case too, but I don't see Mika going out there and doing the shopping on a regular basis. I just don't see it. And Morning Joe, he's not shopping. So he didn't know it was $7 roughly. And you hear that back and forth, 7. It was 7. Yeah, that's it. So we're reducing everything to the price of butter. It's not about the price of butter. But there's no reason for this. Brendan Boyle, this guy from Northeast Philadelphia, the congressman over there. Come on, Brendan, we'll talk about this. He claims Democrats should have made the case that inflation is because of COVID around the world. And we didn't really do anything in this country to create inflation. What's the matter with you people in Northeast Philadelphia? You just set up a vote Democrat, Brendan Boyle. Does he really represent the whole Boyle family for that matter? Your interest? $7. Butter. That's astounding. Well, you shouldn't be using so much butter anyhow. Come on, you're going to get fat. We're helping you. All right. Side question today. Coming off the Harris loss, and as I said yesterday, I give her some grace. It's hard to make that concession speech. It's hard to call up the other person in this, etc. Whoever it is, it's very difficult to do that because she knows she's not going to be the nominee again. This is the high point to wherever she got to be the nominee. There's no way she could believe that's happening again. So there's a bit of irrelevancy. Like 4 years from now, oh, that's Kamala Harris. Didn't we used to have trouble with her name or something? That's what people will be saying. We're looking for somebody who was relevant, very relevant, maybe even very famous. And then you went, whatever happened to, case in point, Howard Dean. Howard Dean looked like he was going to be the Democrat nominee. Remember that way back when? Then he went off screaming these states that they were going to be going to. And then suddenly, where's Howard Dean? I'll take another Howard. Howard Stern. Now, he's still known. He's not completely irrelevant. From the level of Stern, though, what he was, what he represented to now, that's a big difference.
I can't wait to hear Dan's opinion on that one.
Yeah, exactly. So with Howard Stern, yesterday he said, well, this is just due to the fact I knew it, I dreaded it, she's a woman, Americans can't vote for it. Oh, my God. It's just they cannot face what inflation has done to people, the border, and coming up, the Willie Horton issue. That's what it's being called today. Remember Willie Horton, why that was so effective with the Dukakis? Willie Horton was effective because it was true. And because that's what progressives like Dukakis were about, and people got murdered. Coming up, it's being called the Willie Horton issue of this campaign. Can you guess what that might be? All right, Henry, what's yours? Irrelevant.
Yeah, so I got two today.
Yes.
I will take all-time Sixers great Andrew Bynum.
Yes.
As you may know, Andrew Bynum was an all-star center for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I believe in the summer of 2012, he signed the biggest contract ever for a center with the Philadelphia 76ers. Never played a game. Infamously hurt his knee bowling. And then faded into irrelevancy because he was really nothing after that. And then another one I'd like to go to is one of the top music artists of, I say, 2011, Gautier. Do you remember his song, Somebody That I Used to Know?
No.
You don't remember this song?
No, I don't remember it, but yeah.
This song was probably all the rage probably about a little over a decade ago, and then completely dropped off the face of the earth.
All right.
It hasn't dropped anything since, as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't even know that I knew him then. Maybe I did. That's a good example. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Hit us with somebody who was extremely relevant, popular, call it what you would. And the moment, maybe when they did something, and that was the fall from grace. You know, at the moment, and I love this, that more and more pundits are coming around to my point of view, where they say Harris really got into trouble. And I say this because I get these constant people, why do we even talk about The View? Come on now. This is entertainment, too. It's hilarious, the nonsense they do. But when Harris was asked by Sonny Hostin, trying to tee her up, well, tell me, what would you do different? How do you distinguish from Joe Biden? Because that's what everybody wanted. She was going to help her distinguish gently. And she said she couldn't think of a thing that came to mind. That was a moment. That was a bad moment. And it was The View. Why? Home court advantage. Kamala Harris never thought anything would be tough there, and it was. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. You push pound 1210. You heard some of the things being proposed President Trump would get to instantly. I gave you one that I differ. May differ with you. That's okay. Talk radio is not the choir. Difference is fine. Now, sometimes, we get people that just come on and it's just antagonistic. It's not that either. At least I don't do that. But if there's difference here, that's good. Which one of those things do you want Trump to do first? I think Ukraine is impossible to do that soon. We're going to see it. But that's the major one. If, say, within 3 months, Trump has some kind of solution to Ukraine that both sides sort of go along with, that would be Nobel Peace Prize. They won't give it to him, but it would be. If that happens by hook or by crook, that would be outstanding. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in on Talk Radio 1210.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out.
I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything.
Have you tried shopping jewelry television, JTV?
I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different.
JTV has thousands of jewelry styles, artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax?
Yes. Another round?
Yes.
Hey, it's Rich Zeoli. Cape May is absolutely gorgeous in the fall. If you have not been to Cape May in the fall, you are missing out. You should book a stay today at my happy place that I know will become your happy place, the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey. From September 29th through December 21st, the Grand is offering a fabulous fall midweek stay. Stay 2 nights, receive $100 in resort credits. Stay 3 nights, get $150 in resort credits. Stay 5 nights, get $200 in resort credits that can be used at Hemingway's for food and drink or at the gift shop. The Grand offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with kitchenettes, and they have 2 huge heated pools, 1 outdoor, 1 indoor. The Grand is an amazing place for you and your spouse or the entire family. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Always book direct with them for the best rates and to get those resort credits. Book your stay today. 800-257-8550. It's 800-257-8550 or grandhotelcapemay.com. My happy place. grandhotelcapemay.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit EasyOutRealEstate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Okay, Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. 855-839-1210. I gave you a bunch of the things. Washington Examiner and others think that Trump early on, even first day, the executive orders. We need laws, though, passed. The easy one will be restoring the border. Just go back to the Trump plan from before, and you're there. I told you what I think on the January 6th. I mean, come on. Some of these people deserve the sentences they got. A great number of them, you could commute the sentence, maybe even pardon them. A great number of them potentially are in that camp. Case by case, that's the way conservatives should approach it versus now we're tired of hearing about January 6th, so just pardon all of them. No, I'm not going that way. Okay. I mentioned, what is the Willie Horton? Now, Willie Horton was this convicted murderer, and they have this weekend parole program. This is, let's see now. This is Dukakis running for president on the Democrat side. I'm trying to remember who Dukakis beat against George, the senior, Bush Sr., 1988. He supposedly had the Massachusetts Miracle, how great things were there. And then the Bush research team just found that they had this furlough program. You go out on the weekends, convicted murderers, severe crimes, to kind of rehabilitate. And Willie Horton, on one of those jaunts, murders this couple. I forget if he raped the woman or not. And that ad turned Dukakis very much as the tank ad.
As Governor Michael Dukakis vetoed mandatory sentences for drug dealers, he vetoed the death penalty. His revolving door prison policy gave weekend furloughs to first-degree murderers not eligible for parole. While out, many committed other crimes like kidnapping and rape, and many are still at large. Now Michael Dukakis says he wants to do for America what he's done for Massachusetts. America can't afford that risk.
I think they showed, thank you, Dan, I think they showed photos of Willie Horton, and Willie Horton became famous. You're Willie Hortoning me in the ads. No, it was true. It was true, and it got at the source of this. So what is the Willie Horton of ads? I'm proud I had that column up last week. You know what it is. The transgender stuff. Yes, the Trump team got it. Whoever over there got it, and they ran it and ran it again. My only regret is I would have run it 4 more times. I would have got another $1 billion and ran it. Because it hit home. And the more they complain about this, Democrats, you know they're being hit home. She did what? She supported gender-affirming sex operations, taxpayer expense, illegals here in jail. She did it. Well, it was only 2, Martha Raddatz said. Ha! Try that. Yeah, continue to try that. All right? So that's the Willie Horton of ads. That's what it's being called now. It's starting to become infamous. You knew about it with me all along. It's effective because it's true. in addition to inflation, the border, and all that, this was a tell of what Harris is all about. One other thing, the guy that we have not recognized in the Hall of Fame here, of people that made a difference in this election cycle, Governor Abbott of Texas. He did not only the politically right thing, but I believe the morally right thing. He said, you know what? We are not going to burden these people along the border, 100 miles in, whatever it was in Texas, with 20 million people. We're going to move some of them to the big cities, Denver, New York, Chicago. And even though I'd have to think if any of them were in swing states per se. What happened is it became a national story. We saw it all the time. And finally, these people all on board with no border, the border came home. That was Abbott. DeSantis did it a little bit. Martha's Vineyard, you may remember. Abbott does not get enough credit, though. That kept that story out there. It made it real. It made it tangible. It showed it day to day what happens to you when you have illegal immigration in your neighborhood, just like it was in Texas. We want to just keep it in Texas. We like it, but keep it there. Let's hear Jimmy Kimmel last night, and then I'll tell you what Elise Stefanik is being touted for in the cabinet, that she might be this person, and I think it fits her really well. Here's Kimmel last night. And look, I have no respect for Kimmel. That's why I'm playing him. I have less respect for Colbert because Colbert is fairly smart. Kimmel is a dope. Kimmel is a blackface annex that we're supposed to forget about. Kimmel is women jumping up and down on trampolines with the guy show. Nothing wrong with that. It's America. If you want to watch, it's fine. But don't tell me about anything, you dope. Listen to Kimmel last night telling us who lost when Trump won.
But the rest was not great. Let's be honest. It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
All right. So we're dopes. All these people, hear that litany? And they voted for him. They don't, and you're really, it's a double dopery. You're a dope because you don't realize it's bad for you, too, at this point. This guy deserves all the gloating, all the pushback. I don't say that, but don't do it with the average person. You know, they might be your neighbor. Let it go. Guys like this, though, just think of his track record. And this is the sort of, and what does Jimmy Kimmel really do? He first surfaced because his son was in the hospital, as I remember, and he went on a rant about he could afford it, but all these conservatives are taking away health care. What about all these people that can't? It's just an endless, out of touch, hateful, in my view, still not wanting to get it of what people were saying here. How about the people, Jimmy, that are paying $7 for butter? Oh, it's going to be about butter now? What about democracy? I'll play for you coming up. Colbert, who's smarter at least, he had a spin. He called it another word, not democracy, but he changed the word to kind of besmirch voters also. All right, 855-839-1210. I am coming to your call. So give us somebody who was very relevant, famous, center of the action, and then not so much or maybe dropped a lot. That's
There's
what
a word
we're looking
for this,
for.
Dom.
Yes.
It's called cooked. Who
Yeah,
or what
right.
is cooked?
Right.
And I got a great one for you.
Go
to
ahead.
Put you there in the mindset. How about politician, Dom? What the hell happened to him after this?
We're going to California and Texas and New York. We're going to South
okay.
Dakota.
That's right. I'm glad to hear the sound. Yes.
Oh, you want the? Okay, here you go.
And Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Oh,
If
man,
you can
that would
imagine,
be-
at that point, he
is
was
cooked.
on a roll. He was a leading cat, and he lost to the dour John Kerry. If you lose to John Kerry in your life, oh my God, That's got to be a difficult thing. The French-looking John Kerry.
I want listeners get in the mindset of products or things.
That's
maybe
right.
Places
Could be a
that
product.
were once
Yes.
popular that are now cooked. And one that I brought up, Dom, Maisie used to love it. It's kind of it's disappeared. It's actually been rebranded, but it used to be so popular. 7-Up. 7-Up is cooked.
Yeah, I don't see 7-Up
You don't
that
see it
much.
nearly
Now,
as much as it
Ginger
used
Ale,
to.
I guess, has replaced it maybe.
No,
sort
Mountain
of.
Dew's replaced it.
Oh, it has it? Okay.
Starry literally replaced.
No, Starry did literally
Okay.
replace it, but I think they
rebranded.
Yeah, but like the popularity
Well,
of
7-Up
7-Up moved
was
over.
a top two
It's
of
like-
all time.
It was like a cultural icon with
Yeah.
the dot and all.
So
Yeah.
will they still play Heads Up 7-Up in schools?
I don't know. It's Heads Up
All right.
Mountain Dew now.
All right, so it's 855-839-1210. You can get in with that, though. So who would you say is somebody – we all know the ones to go after. We have a top 100 list. They deserve – I have some Rachel Maddow. But who would you say – just let it go. Yeah, they differ. You know what I'm talking about. In your neighborhood, your family. I know Thanksgiving seems far away, but my God, Thanksgiving this year. As far as it's just not. It's not the gloating and all. Oh, but Dom. No. I'm not one of those guys. There are those guys out there. They're idiots that Trump won, and they're just into a gloating forever here. Let's savage them. One of them wants to be, and I usually like this guy, but the stuff he said yesterday, his name is Mike Davis, Trump looking at him for attorney general. No, it's not just getting in there and doing the same tactics. It's getting in there and making the Democrats follow the law, letter of the law, spirit of the law, up and down. That's what it's about. And I'll tell you what Elise Stefanik is up for. And I don't know if she's pushing this or they see her as this, but I think this would be perfect given what she did to those three college presidents during the anti-Semitism debate. She would be really good at this. I'm hoping that's what she's pushing too. We're going to hear from Tiffany Justice, Moms for Liberty. She's one or two or three of who will be the Secretary of Education. You got to understand, Secretary of Education, that gets a lot of media. These people go wild. Remember Betsy DeVos? Well, Tiffany Justice would be spectacular in that. And what about RFK Jr. and Fruit Loops? Now debating why are our Fruit Loops different than Canada? I'd like to see the reason why. I mean, I actually want to see these things run down rather than just wildly saying, why do they don't have these 18 ingredients we do? Is it corruption? Somebody being paid off? Well, let's face it. At the end of the day, can we blame Big Cereal and all these others for fat kids? Really? I'm willing to listen to part of that. But is that it? Are we going to be that? Well, that kid's a victim. Look at him over there. He hasn't moved off the couch in 6 weeks. He's a victim. Big Fruit Loops did that to him. And Australia has, well, I'm not sure if they're a day ahead or a day behind. I guess they're a day behind. I have to look at that. They are banning social media for anyone under 16. I wouldn't do that. But they're the first in the world maybe to do that. Let's talk FanDuel, though, first. Hey, the NBA is back. And FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. And right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do is catch every tip-off and buzzer beater, is place any $5 bet on the NBA to get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime, no refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, the voice of the people.
I want to thank all of you guys. The coverage yesterday was top-notch with everybody throwing in a little bit of Matt Rooney late night and a little bit of Opelka. Rich out in Pittsburgh, I listened right till the end, right till Dom signed off at midnight.
From South Jersey to Delco, from Bucks to Montco, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, we are the voice of the people. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Buy low, sell high. It's a cardinal rule of investing. With the market near record highs, you need a proven system that protects what you have earned without sacrificing opportunity for growth.
Jim O'Neill, Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. With the stock market at record highs, I would recommend taking your money and put it into a crash-proof retirement system. This year, I have earned over 14%, and it can't be taken away.
Gail Schlosser, and I started with Crash-Proof Retirement in 2016. I'm getting great returns, up to 12 to 15%, and it's not going to dwindle away in the stock market.
Regina Kukulski, Langhorne. This year, I earned 10.5% interest. I feel really good looking at that because it's not money I lost.
Dolores Queen, Hatboro, Pennsylvania. We have outperformed the market this year, and when we earn 14%, it's ours to keep.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
This school year, get your child or grandchild the help they need to succeed. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and help your child have an outstanding year. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Boy, what day after? Day 2 after. 855-839-1210. You get in. The biographer of Joe Biden. Boy, there's a tough task. Says that Joe Biden's legacy is the re-election of Donald Trump. Everything else is an asterisk. Wow. Finally. And, you know, I'm looking at any number of their communications people trying to say how they should have communicated about inflation. Forget it. I don't care how much they're paying you. The bottom line is you did it. And when I played you that butter cut with Joe Scarborough as he was pontificating, really, butter, that decided the election? Well, there are a million other things related to it. But no, you did it, and you didn't have to do it to the middle class. That's how I would put it. I wouldn't get off that point. I don't care what kind of brawl was breaking out. I'd say it again. You did it. You did it. You did it. That's where I'm sticking. Any kind of debate. You didn't have to do this. It's ridiculous. Come on, Brendan Boyle. Come on the show, buddy. We'll debate this. Again, you go for 2 minutes. Tell us all your highfalutin ideas for Northeast Philadelphia. How, well, this happened around the world. It's just COVID, so here you're going to have to suffer in Northeast Philadelphia. What do you tell them now, Brendan? Well, we have to bring down inflation. Or do you tell them inflation has come down? Neither one of them is true. How are you going to bring down inflation? Tell us what your Harris should have given us more of her policies. What are they? We'll set up a special hour. I could be in a soundproof booth for a while. That's how agitated I'd be. Let me out of here. And then we open the gates of hell. Let's go to Nick in South Philly and talk where I'll be on November 23rd.
Get the name right. DOM.
That's right. Not too soon to get your tickets. It's at St. John Newman, my alma mater, and it's a benefit for 2 parishes down there. Joe Conklin has invited me to show off my impersonation skills along with him.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm working it up with Jim Kelly. He's my coach.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I happened to see Godfather on last night. And DJ was trying to talk to me, and I said, there's certain, you know what? Side question. Scene in a movie that comes up, someone tries to talk to you, that's it, even if it's a 2 or 3 minutes. What scene was it, Henry and the Godfather, I had to stop? No talking.
Oh. Toll booth?
No, I mean, that's visual.
Yeah, it's
No,
true.
No, it's the whole thing. We'll get there, Pop. We'll get there. Yeah. And the music starts to swell.
Up, yep.
Something for you. Where's Jim Kelly?
where's
Somewhere.
Jim Kelly? We need Jim.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
Mike, you got a little wrong. That little farce you played with my sister. You think that could fool a Corleone?
Yeah, those are all good. There's 100 good lines, but that scene speaks to me about the family and about what we want done. Nick is in South Philly after all that. Hey, Nick, welcome in.
How are you? Thanks for taking my call, and that is our alma mater also, so thank you.
Oh, good. Well, Nick,
that
thank you. Thanks very much. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, we'll do. The Scarborough quote or his clip or whatever it was, very telling. That's exactly why people voted. For the cost of butter, for the cost of gas, for the cost of whatever it costs to fill up your grocery cart. And it's not about misogyny or racism or anything. There's men like myself that work with our wives that go to the store and we shop for our families. We feed our families. We try to feed our families. And that's how out of touch Joe is. And that's how out of touch the Democratic Party is. And if they would have just hit on those issues and presented a plan, I think they would have received more votes.
Well, but Nick, the only thing is, I would challenge them. What's their plan? You did it. What are you going to do to get out? We know one thing to get out pretty quickly is energy.
Right.
They don't want to do energy. Taking away government regulation, they don't want to do that. So, they can't say anything. That's why they're
Well, they also caused a mess that
Yes.
they wanted to try to make us believe that they had to
Yes.
get us out of. Well, everything was fine, and that's it. There shouldn't be any more debates. You know what it should be if 2 candidates want to run for office? Take them on one of those supermarket shows, give them a cart, give them $100, and say, here's what you have to do. Fill this cart up, and you have to come up with 4 meals for the week for your family. You can't go over the 100. You have to stay under it, and you have to make sure you factor in for 3 meals a day. That's common sense stuff that these people are so out of
Nick,
touch
I'd
that they
love
don't
to see
get.
that. I'm thinking of some of the candidates. Can you imagine what Biden might say in this? Oh, my God. Someone like Walls. Let's do this with Walls.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
that is great. I like that as a debate test. At the end of aisle 6, we'll have the debate. Nick, who was relevant and now is irrelevant?
You know what? I really wasn't thinking too much about it. I was just more concerned about having a nice conversation with you, so thank you. I think what's not relevant anymore, I miss it, Frank Soda. I do miss Frank Soda.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
relevant.
I almost had them as a sponsor. Frank's, if you're still out there, we'll put you on the map again. I met with a guy for an hour. Yeah, it's great soda. Thank you, Nick. That's a good one. Yeah, I like Frank's.
I feel like the Wishniak's still being sold in really niche settings.
Yeah, right. Stop saying it. I should have a button in here of words you can't say here. Yeah, is there a scene where someone comes in, you shush them? We might do that tomorrow. Yeah, that's cut down the after meeting time today. I like that one. For me, that's that moment in The Godfather where they're going over whoever wants to meet, that's the traitor and all that stuff. And I like wine more. That's good for you, Pop. Okay, 855-839-1210.
Right over here. Dom really wants to do this.
Yeah. Yes. Lee Stefanik, what role would you see her? I don't know that it's included in the cabinet per se. It's on the fringe of the cabinet, but it's more important in some ways in the cabinet. I'll tell you what she's being touted for that makes a lot of sense. We'll get that coming up. But first, one of the biggest and healthiest sales of the year is back again. Rescue Natural Supplements Black Friday sale is here, and right now Rescue is slashing prices on every supplement with discounts up to an incredible 80% off. Rescue has a wide variety of products to address your health needs, including immunity and cholesterol support, heart health, and natural energy enhancers. Grab huge savings on omega-3s, probiotics, and a lot more. One more thing. The Rescue Black Friday sale will run the entire month of November. So shop today at res-q.com, res-q.com, or call a Rescue product consultant at 800-26-ALIVE, 262-5483. Again, all rescue supplements are up to 80% off during the entire month of November. So why wait? Shop massive savings on essential supplements at res-q.com. Do it today.
How's this for a dream Politics and Pints event? It's me, Rich Zioli, with Jimmy Fela on stage together Wednesday, November 13th, 7:30 p.m., Media Theater in Media, PA. And we're going to have a cash bar available for soft drinks, beer, wine, and cocktails, which, yes, you can buy us. Media Theater, Wednesday, November 13th at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a hot show, and it's going to sell out really fast. So get your tickets right now at 1210WPHT.com, and I'll see you for our next Politics and Pints, Zioli and Fela, November 13th.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's Enhanced Network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor. Every Saturday afternoon at 5, I talk with doctors and medical specialists from around the country to discuss the latest information about heart disease, cancer prevention, topics in women's health, pediatrics, mental health, and more. Then you can make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. Your radio doctor, Saturdays at 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, because your health is your wealth.
Wawa's Hot Turkey is back. And it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because Hot Turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Elise Stefanik, I think this would be a dream matchup given what she did, and since we've had her on, what she did with the 3 college presidents, UN ambassador. I think she would thrive in that. Just thrive in that. Uh-oh, at Mulligan's Bar, they're sitting around crunching the numbers. I thought they'd be crafting new drinks for Dom Giordano's show. I hear that's an all-year project. And they heard the other day that Henry can throw a football 40 yards, and they're in doubt.
At least
40 yards. I think they're in doubt. There's a lot of skepticism. Let's go to Johnny Z. We haven't heard from him in a while at Mulligan's. Right there, right across from the Acme. If you're in the neighborhood, stop in while he's making this call. Let's go to Johnny. Hey, Johnny, welcome in. How are things at Mulligan's?
Hey, Tom, how are you, pal?
Good.
Good, yeah, everything's fine down here. Election went well. The area down here, I think it was like 20 points in favor of Trump down here. So, you know, everything was really good. Reason I'm calling, Dom, I just saw a guy, his name is Dave McCoon on Twitter. He just made a really interesting point, if I may. It could be totally anecdotal, but it's interesting. We remember the last couple of years hearing about this mass exodus out of blue states, New Jersey, New York, California, you know, by the hundreds of thousands. And, you know, I remember thinking, you know, these states are going to be blue for decades, you know, for however long. And he made a great point that, you know, you would think that most of the people that have escaped these states are Republicans. And if that is the case, and the data that's coming in from the election shows that California, New York, New Jersey is actually getting more red, what does that tell you?
So you're thinking, right? Or he's thinking these are people escaping blue, people are escaping the state. I'd say this, I don't know about states, but Johnny Z, things like the cities, they're escaping to the counties and all.
Right.
So you think, though, they would be escaping a blue state and going to a red state? Is that what he's saying?
Well, no, what he's saying is if we assume that the majority of people that have left these states are Republicans and they're going to states like Florida or Georgia or Texas, and, you know, if all that's left is mostly Democrat, but the trend is showing that people are breaking to Republicans in these states, you know, could that be just a shift now? Maybe Democrats have had enough and they're voting Republican? Interesting.
The modern Democrats are. I mean, look at the war we have here in Philadelphia, John. I mean, I was texting with Bob Brady today. He's a moderate Democrat. He's at war with the Harris campaign and people like that blaming him. So internally, will those moderate Democrats just make that final step and at least vote Republican? Yeah, I think a lot of that happened.
Yeah, it was just an interesting observation. I wanted to share it with you.
Yeah, well, thank you. How's the weather and the economy? Does that help Mulligan's, help the shore economy?
The weather right now, the weather's been fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And, you know, it keeps bringing people down to the shore. So the shoulder season has been pretty good. But, you know, we'll see where the rest of the season takes us. But there's a lot of optimism down here right now, you know, after the election, everybody I'm talking to. So that's a good thing.
What was it like at Mulligan's 2:30 in the morning or whatever on election night? Was anything going on there?
No, but by the time that all rolled around, we were all closed up. But I mean, all of my employees, I mean, everybody I talked to, customers, you know, everybody was excited election day to get out and vote. A lot of people had voted early. A lot of people were waiting until election day. But I mean, everybody seemed like they were on the same page.
Absolutely. John, great to hear from you. Don't be a stranger.
Hey, John, you're a stand-up guy, too.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/@12WPHT. Go like and subscribe. Gary says, thank you, Johnny, for a drink a few weeks back prior to Zioli show in Cape May. Thanks and appreciate it, my man. I love that you go out to those events, Johnny. You're awesome, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Johnny Z, here on Talk Radio 1210. Coming up, Tiffany Justice. Tiffany will be the next education secretary, Moms for Liberty. We'll see. That's 855-839-1210.
They call me the Bubble Wrap Mom. Hey, Dawn Stansland here. Yeah, I'm always concerned about safety and privacy, but it goes well beyond being just a protective parent. And that's where DuckDuckGo's Privacy Pro comes in. It's actually a 3-in-1 subscription service. And yes, it includes DuckDuckGo's VPN, personal information removal, as well as identity theft restoration. All three are pretty incredible. But I love the VPN because it gives me that extra layer of online protection. So the other day I was getting my hair done, and you know how usually it'll come in not a secure connection. I don't have to deal with that because, of course, DuckDuckGo's VPN secures your Wi-Fi connection. Anytime, anywhere, at home, work, in the coffee shop, or, you know, if I'm getting my hair done. So I hope you check it out. Right now, get an exclusive 7-day free trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Then you'll pay $9.99 a month. Again, DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Medicare is making important changes in 2025. Independence Blue Cross can help. Our Medicare Advantage plans include premiums as low as $0, dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. The deadline to enroll is December 7th. Visit ibxmedicare.com/radio. Independence Blue Cross offers PPO, HMO, POS, and HMO Medicare Advantage plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Independence Blue Cross PPO, HMO, POS, and HMO Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano
has the capacity to go like this to everybody. The person who isn't going to change their mind constantly. The person who didn't put Supreme Court's injustice that took my rights away. I don't even need to say that person's name. You know exactly who it is.
So, Jenna, let's get a balanced take on it. Tiffany Justice, co-founder of the Moms for Liberty. How do you believe the issue of not just reproductive rights, but where women are going to be in terms of what they will prioritize in this election?
Yeah, I think Jenna's right. I think American women are infuriated, and we're infuriated about the fact that only a third of children are reading on grade level in America's public schools. Where was my body, my choice during COVID? Yes. Right? So, you know, it's almost 9 o'clock. We spent a lot of time talking about something that is now an issue for the states to handle. And I think it's time we start talking about where we really are in America when it comes to kids. And as far as Jenna's point about which candidate is going to put their arms around everyone, you know what I see? I was at MSG. I gave the invocation on Sunday, and I saw RFK there. I saw Tulsi Gabbard there. I saw people in that audience that have never voted Republican before in their lives, and they're coming together to support Donald Trump. So we're looking towards the future. We're very concerned about the health issues that we're seeing across the country, and making America great again, making America healthy again is something that American moms want.
Do you believe?
All right, the Making America Healthy Again. That is Tiffany Justice, the head of Moms for Liberty, and she is being touted as a potential Secretary of Education, something certainly we've had her on 50 times. I'd support. It would be very interesting, to put it mildly.
Through this whole thing, from day one, she was the leading person in addressing the COVID situation and the school boards.
And around issues of parenting, kids, education / all that with Trump, She was there more than anybody, but she's here with us again in Philadelphia. Hey, Tiffany, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on today. I think I slept the best last night that I have in 4 years.
Well, I hear you on that. We just played a cut of you. I think it was with Chris Cuomo, as he always show reference, the lesser Cuomo on News Nation now. He's more relevant again, though, than the brother, who is the least relevant now. And it was about a woman, again, this drumbeat, our daughters and abortion, and you raised several other things, including things like reading scores, schools being closed, etc. What a rejoinder to that. What do you make, Tiffany, of women that have said this post, my grandmother, I'm going back to the days of my grandmother, for my daughters, as far as their rights? Don't you think if they're a national, they would lead with other things or mix in other things other than just abortion?
Yeah, I mean, my question for that Dem strategist was, what happened to my body, my choice during COVID, right? And that just, I mean, people started applauding, but it's true. I think that's what all American moms were thinking about. You know, you want to talk about abortion rights, the right to end your pregnancy. What about, the pregnant moms who were forced to try to take a vaccination to keep their jobs? And they wanted to vaccinate our kids, and we saw that COVID wasn't affecting children as much as it was other demographics. And so, President Trump won. I think American moms are heavily invested in Make America Healthy Again. Bobby Kennedy and Children's Health Defense, a lot of our moms were members of Children's Health Defense. Moms who had kids who had vaccine injuries were kind of the canaries in the coal mine, as well as homeschooling moms. And so I think there are a lot of moms in America during COVID that were like, oh, wait a second. All these people around me are saying, ask more questions, more skeptical of the expert class. And so that's what we're doing now.
Let me give you something tough on that. Look, I'm a fan of what Kennedy's doing. I've had him on over the years, multitude of times, about opening up like the Fruit Loops question of the day, which is why Canada has 2 ingredients. We have 18. But
that's right.
When you start bringing up things like fluoride, I think it's I'll put it this way. I think it's a good academic type of thing. I get a little nervous, though, with Kennedy that the whole let's make America healthy again will die on one of these academic debates. It'll go too far. Do you see any of that with him?
I think Bobby Kennedy asks a lot of questions. It's kind of what he's been doing his whole career, right? Challenging the establishment. I think it's time that American parents really start thinking about how the food issues that we're having, the medical issues that our children are dealing with. I think it's 38% of children are suffering from obesity. We need to address these issues. And so, one of the things that I love about President Trump, he even said it. I was in Palm Beach on Wednesday night when he gave his acceptance speech, and he said, I love Bobby Kennedy. He's going to do some great stuff, but don't touch the liquid gold, Bobby. And so I think the one thing with President Trump is that, he's bringing people in that he knows have expert experience in different areas, or just have things that they want to champion. And I think he's going to be very discerning in how he gives entrance to people. And so, Bobby can talk about fluoride and float that. I think it starts an interesting conversation in America in general. But I think President Trump will put some guardrails around the different people.
Well, I hear Tiffany Justice doing that too. That's kind of, Tiffany, what I was getting at here. I'm all about that, but I don't want it to be ruined by some wild thing we'd be sitting around with a few beers and talking about that gets out there. And I don't hear that with you, because that's exactly how they would discredit you. So let's ask, you would be, based upon our conversations, based upon your reach, and based upon your empowerment of the number one thing to me, parental rights. That's the thing that we have to emphasize again and again and again. As long as no one's breaking laws, I give complete sanctuary city to parental rights. Would you consider Secretary of Education?
I mean, I'd be honored to serve the president in any capacity.
Okay.
I did that. I chat with him at our summit, and I just don't think there's anyone else like him, honestly. He's very invested in the parental rights movement, and he knows that parents know best for their kids, not bureaucrats. So I think that's someone that you try to serve in any way that you can.
I'm asking because you saw Betsy DeVos, who I think said some good things and all. I just don't know that she was equipped for what was going to happen. You are. You went on 60 Minutes knowing how difficult that is, how it can get skewed. You're battle tested, I think, on this. If you were, what's the number one thing you'd be looking for in a Secretary of Education, someone in that field that has a lot of media, bully pulpit, a lot of power in that manner? What would you be putting top of mind?
I think President Trump should pick someone who prioritizes parental rights.
Okay.
We need to restore parental in education at every level in government. And, I think that it has to be the focus of a leader in education because the pendulum has swung so hard in the other direction. We have so much indoctrination happening in America's public schools. We've gotten so far away. You mentioned reading proficiency. Only a third of kids in America reading on grade level in America's public schools. 78% of the kids that have some type of interaction with the juvenile justice system in America are functionally illiterate. We have men reading at about a first grade level in America's prisons on average. And so, there's a direct link between illiteracy and a life of struggle and crime. And we should not be setting kids up in elementary school to struggle their entire lives. And so, I think President Trump has a mandate. He won the parental vote. And I think whoever he chooses will continue to fight for parents at the Department of Education and in other cabinet positions as well.
Tiffany Justice, Moms for Liberty, with us. So, Tiffany, the other issue he can do early on, or at least I think he can, you give us the mechanism you would prefer, and that's the whole transgender thing. The low-hanging fruit to me, because there's not a lot of moving parts, is to just stop biological males at birth from participating in female sports. Can that be done federally?
Yeah, I mean, he can certainly work to roll back the Biden-Harris Title IX regulations that were issued through the DOE. They were unconstitutional, though, and they've been challenged in courts across the country. And so, we have that preliminary injunction out of the 10th Circuit from the district court saying that any member of Moms for Liberty, if their child's in a public school, that school cannot enforce the new Title IX regulations. So we will continue to work through the judicial system and the court system to fight against these unconstitutional regulations. But I would imagine that President Trump will also take some executive action on that issue.
What else? Education was and school choice. Tiffany, we see the breakthrough, and you may have even better numbers than we do with Latinos, for example. And I always thought school choice was a natural there as a driver. But to me, it's never rung the bell, even though that's the secret to getting away from the what we've seen with the public schools.
Yeah, I absolutely think that parents should be in the driver's seat when it comes to their children's education, their lives in general. And so school choice, education freedom does that. Parents know better than anybody else what their child's going to need. I have 4 kids. They're all very different. They have different learning styles. They excel at different things. The one school for one child may not be the right school or environment for another child. And so we want to put parents in the driver's seat. I've looked at the turnout for President Trump, and I think more parents are becoming aware of education freedom. The one commitment that I have made to myself that I really want to focus on is Black women in America. We have horrible reading scores across the board, but Black students are only reading at a 17% proficiency rating in 4th grade across America. And so I personally am going to commit to trying to talk to more Black moms who, about how their kids are doing in school and how I can help them to find the best option for their kids, because I know that every parent loves their child and wants them to be successful in life. And right now we have a public education system that is failing our students.
Yeah, without a doubt. Is there any other big initiative for Moms for Liberty this year coming up?
Yeah, we're going to focus. Yeah, well, you have a lot of governor's races in 2026, and so our moms are getting really involved at the state level. We only endorse the school board races, but we're going to want to make sure that the issues that our moms care about are, right at the forefront for anyone that's serving in office, running in office. I think you're going to see a lot of state-level advocacy as we dismantle the Department of Education and we put power back down to the states and the size of the federal government shrinks. It's going to be even more important for people to have their voices heard at the most local level of school board, but also at the state level. So you're going to see a lot of state advocacy by our chapters. They create legislative committees. They have legislative platforms in their states, and they're going to be, working and speaking to representatives and state senators to make sure that they know what parents want from their elected officials.
Tiffany, thank you. And again, the website, because there are chapters all across our area, all across Pennsylvania. Where do people go for Moms for Liberty?
Go to momsforliberty.org. There's a big map. Click on your state. See if we have a chapter in your area. If we don't, click to start one. It only takes 10 like-minded people. You can always follow us on Twitter as well. My handle is @4 Tiffany Justice.
Tiffany, thank you, and we mean that. I'd love to have you on as a regular basis as Secretary of Education. That would be really good stuff.
Dom, thanks a lot for that. I appreciate your support.
Thank you. Tiffany Justice, we had Betsy DeVos on, and Dan, you may remember how difficult, oh my God, the staff and the whole, it was like we had the president on, and her policies or some of the things she said were good, but the bottom line was, I think she was unskilled at the media dealing with some of this stuff. Tiffany Justice would be a natural on it.
She's great.
Ryan Walters might be, I like him for it, but that would be breaking the furniture. For listeners, that's the guy we have on Reading, Writing, and Reason this Saturday. You'll hear it usually around 4 o'clock on Saturdays here, or the podcast. And he is the Secretary of Education in Oklahoma. He's the one that has Bibles in every classroom and all. I think they were Trump Bibles, too, if you remember this time. That might be a bit much, as far Tiffany Justice gets it calibrated.
Corey DeAngelis also being thrown out there as an name.
Yeah, I think there's, you may want to check on him. Maybe it wasn't DeAngelis.
DeAngelis is with the American Culture Project.
Yeah.
He's a Center for Educational Freedom with the Cato Institute.
There's one guy that's kind of taken a bashing now, though.
Oh, yeah?
Was it Rufo or was it?
So, question, my conspiratorial
Yeah.
brain is really going right now, and I just had this conversation with Henry. There's like 4 or 5 different polls asking who should be the next Secretary of Education with like the same 4 names.
Right.
Tiffany being on those polls a lot of times. Just genuinely curious, do you think there's any desire or initiative by the campaign to say, hey, can you guys put out these polls to try to crowdsource who we want as our, cabinet? Or do you think this is genuinely natural?
Yeah, they might be. And they might have people there doing it. There's nothing wrong with that. They're trying to take...
I think that, honestly, I think it would be awesome. Like,
they're trying to take the feel.
To,
the only thing is they got to know some
want.
of these people are not necessarily as prominent. So I don't know how many people, our listeners know Tiffany Justice. I don't know how many know Ryan Walters or some of these others.
Best person for the job. I don't care about Twitter polls.
Yeah.
Get it through. I don't...
Well, but that's
any of them. I don't
well,
care.
that's determining that. Yeah, a lot of them have good quality. She wouldn't be an RFK though. I think RFK is going to be great talk radio, but there's trouble there at River City. Coming up though, I'll play you the thing with the Fruit Loops, which was interesting. And Tiffany said it there. I was rolling with the interview. Let's bring up that question again, since RFK is so prominent, and she just brought it up. Straight up. The Bible of talk radio for the last 10 years is these kids are fat because they don't play enough. They don't run around enough. I'm not moving off that and just blaming big Fruit Loops. Are you?
Yes.
You are. So it's not the kids. It's not what they do.
Well, I think, you know what, you're right. Because I do complain about that a lot. Because they're all inside now. They don't go outside. They don't explore.
How about
right,
you, Henry?
I mean, it can be a little bit of both here. I do think kids need to get outside more and do more stuff, but
Don, but
the ingredients
high
in the food
fructose
we
corn
are
syrup has
crazy.
been forced on us, and
Well, it's up to parents to read labels and do various things. Is it impossible to do that?
It's not. But
it's
not. It's hard
but
to turn down your kid in the supermarket, right? When they're like,
I also
holding
feel like
the
it's
box, like we need this. It's got a prize inside.
All right, we'll ask people. I want to see, has RFC, that's the magic of what he's doing. He's not blaming individuals. He's blaming all these shadowy conspiracy people.
Well, he's blaming pharmaceutical companies a lot.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm with him there. Like I feel like a lot of times kids are, especially with like ADD and stuff,
right?
They're just told, hey, take some Ritalin. And,
oh, well, that's
it's
a little
forced
bit
upon kids. And
yeah, that's a little bit different. Rather than, hey, sit down and shut up to the kid, which would be my policy. You don't have anything.
I know.
Yeah,
That's a South Park bit.
Yeah, you don't have AD. I don't care if you have it, right? Whatever.
I have audio of Dom in the classroom talking to one of these kids.
Get him out! Get him out of here!
I have some stories. A kid threw a desk at me. There was hand-to-hand combat with that. It was quite exciting. One kid wouldn't, when you have 2 kids in a high school brawling, you break it up. It's like hockey. You break it up after a minute. Both of them have to realize, hey, you got to stop it here. And these were 2 big gym guys.
Okay.
This one kid screaming he's going to bite their noses off, too. I had it, and I just jumped on top of the pile. That's what happened. I couldn't take it anymore. They were subduing him, but it was taken too. It's ridiculous. We let you fight for a second. All right. Now you got to stop it. That's the way it works. All right, 855. It's well past the statute of limitations.
I like Supermaning in over the
just
kids.
right
and,
on top of the pile.
Diving on.
Oh, God. And they dragged him, Dan, with his feet. They had him in the air in like a full Nelson with the feet in the air down to the vice principal's office. Yeah. All right. So 855-839-1210. Give me your response to Tiffany Justice. And why are kids obese? Why are they fat? RFK, a little bit more on big Fruit Loops. We'll play you that clip. I'm still on the fact a lot of this could be overcome if kids were more active. I'm not saying that doesn't mean we shouldn't get to the bottom of it, but that's a lot of the problem. All right, jump on
board. Consider putting milk in Cracker Jacks?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Just went to the youtube.com/@12WPHT says he puts milk in his Cracker Jacks for breakfast just to get to the prize sometimes. But
oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I thought that was a
but it sounds delicious.
I thought that was a health tip. All right.
Definitely not.
AT&T and Verizon Wireless, you just push pound 1210.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, the voice of the people.
What a day to celebrate. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like I have a New Year's morning hangover I haven't had since college.
What you guys have done over there in this election is unbelievable. Having Pressler on all the time, having Laura Trump on, having Linda Kearns on, that stuff goes a long way.
From South Jersey to Delco, from Bucks to Montco, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, we are the voice of the people. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hey, it's Rich Zeol. You know, Cape May is absolutely gorgeous in the fall. If you have not been to Cape May in the fall, you are missing out. You should book a stay today at my happy place that I know will become your happy place, the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey. From September 29th through December 21st, the Grand is offering a fabulous fall midweek stay. Stay 2 nights, receive $100 in resort credits. Stay 3 nights, get $150 in resort credits. Stay 5 nights, get $200 in resort credits that can be used at Hemingway's for food and drink or at the gift shop. The Grand offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with kitchenettes, and they have 2 huge heated pools, 1 outdoor, 1 indoor. The Grand is an amazing place for you and your spouse or the entire family. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Always book direct with them for the best rates and to get those resort credits. Book your stay today. 800-257-8550. It's 800-257-8550 or grandhotelcapemay.com. My happy place. grandhotelcapemay.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Attention SUV and truck shoppers. It's time to save big with financing as low as 0% for up to 72 months. That's 0% for up to 72 months on select SUVs and Ram trucks. TurnersvilleJeep.com has over 450 vehicles available immediately, plus a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles that come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. TurnersvilleJeep.com. 0% for 72 months financing equals $13.89 per thousand finance with approved credit on select models. Offer ends 11/30/24.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
All right, everyone has different ways to get ready for the incoming Trump administration. This is novel. In California, Governor Newsom has called a special session of the California legislature to respond to Donald Trump and to prepare for the incoming administration. Specifically, the session will focus on, and I quote here, bolstering California resources to protect civil rights, reproductive freedom, climate action, and immigrant families. So there you go.
You're going to see more of this. You're going to see them all huffing and puffing. We're getting ready for Trump. Yesterday it was the Attorney General of New York. We're bolstering New York defenses against him. They're still going to go down that path. They think it plays. I still think Newsom would have had a better shot than Kamala Harris, though. It seems to me. Would have been a better candidate here. They're all going after Clooney today. Why did he get Joe Biden out? Joe Biden would have lost probably after that debate, even worse than Harris. All right? When you were looking at it now, where this ended up, I think you could make that argument. All right, Federal Reserve interest decision coming our way. I'm predicting they are going to cut the rate again, probably only a quarter of a point again. I'd be surprised if it's a half. Watch your 401k today to see how that breaks. I don't know. Hard to tell with Wall Street. You think that would be a shot in the arm? Does the Trump win make any difference? I think it does, probably. That I think they're going to go ahead with this, and maybe they would go back and forth on this. But it'll be another big moment. It has a lot of economic benefit, I think, if they reverse well, I don't think they're going to reverse anything if they add to it. All right, we've been talking with Tiffany Justice. Love to get you in on that. We got a great side question.
Hey, so
yes.
tweet came in. One of our trollers on Twitter, but I want you to address it. Confederate Mark. Dom, you're not reading the room right. We don't want a Secretary of Education except to dismantle the Department of Education. A lot about that on Twitter, about dismantling the Department of Education. Where do you stand?
You know what? This idea that we are just going to be able to dismantle it, which I get it. I think it's a good thing. We don't need a secretary. We don't need an education department. All right? But we're going to see guys like this, the endless beat of this stuff. It's tiresome. Like, I don't know that. I shouldn't be talking about it with secretary. We're living in the real world, buddy, where what's going on now is we need somebody.
Got a buddy.
Double buddy, buddy. Where we need somebody to head this until it's gone. You know what this is analogous to, Dan? It's analogous to the mail-in ballot. Same thing. The same gripers, losers. We won with this. We're probably going to have to go another cycle with the mail-in ballot thing. But we figured out a compromise, which was mail-in ballot, but show up to do it. People were happy with that. I think they'll do it again in 2026. So, no, I don't know that the Department of Education is going to be taken out overnight. But a Tiffany Justice, I didn't get into that with her because I hope she gets it and didn't want to have her something on record. We'll be trying ultimately to taking that out. Her actions, in other words, will be in concert with the state.
I don't get the whole idea of. I mean, if we dismantle the Department of Education, which I think I think we need to rework the Department of Education.
No, I would dismantle it. It should be in the states.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was going to ask who's deciding for. Okay.
Yeah, state by state. Yeah.
But who enforces school choice?
State by state.
You think states decide whether they want to do
it? Oh, yeah, they do now. I don't think we're going to be able to do that nationally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. Everything should be in the states.
Okay, yeah.
I can think of I got to refocus here, Dan. We can look it up. What are the powers reserved to the federal government? National defense. And I'd have to think after that.
Yeah.
Of things that they have now.
Let me ask you, though, when you have such an overbearing, teachers union like you do,
right?
How do you take on a national force like that if you don't have a countering national force in Washington?
Well, you're taking it on state by state. Same thing.
Okay.
New Jersey, apparently. Look,
wouldn't this give them essentially ultimate power if they can wave their, over these state governments?
Well, it becomes more difficult. I'm very skeptical of doing anything nationally. But to your point, a good Secretary of Education is a voice. Betsy DeVos was limited, and they went wild because she was pushing school choice nationally. So I hear your point. Tiffany Justice would be even better. But I want Trump to start talking about that again. Remember what happened in Virginia when Youngkin in a relatively purple-blue state beat Terry McAuliffe, Youngkin said, I'm for parental rights, not so-called experts, teachers, and all that stuff. It's a winning issue, and that's what she emphasized today. So you read the room. I'm well aware of this wish list. I'm aware of getting rid of the income tax, all these things that we can talk about. But let's talk about what it is you want to make sure Trump gets done early that has lasting power. That's the thing. Somebody hit me on Twitter, good guy, Brad, Dan, and he said, we got to keep the Supreme Court at 9. How would you do that? I'd have to look. I'm not sure if they're looking at that. How do you fortify the Supreme Court to stay at 9? And I believe it would be the only way is constitutionally. And I don't know that anybody's going to have a constitution. We're going to fight on that to keep it at. I know what the fear is. Democrats would put 50 on there until they came up with a magic number where they could cook the court. They would just keep on piling them in and outvote you. That's what they want to do. Trump is, here's one other thing as Trump starts. As we get a couple years into the second term, I could see Clarence Thomas, they may be talking about, isn't it time for him to retire to put a younger justice in just in case you don't win in 2028. But I will tell you this, there's no way I think we ought to put anybody in for Sammy Alito. Alito is the most dogged, brilliant Supreme Court justice that I've seen, even more than some of the vaunted ones, for the simple reason you're not pushing Alito around in any way, shape, or form. He did exactly the right thing in the Dobbs decision. So, no, I don't know how old Sam Alito is. He must be about 65 or so, something like that. And in every interview that I've had with him, I've been impressed mightily by that. Here's a hint. We got to get him on now. The Phillies season, spring training will be coming up. That's when he usually comes on. Let me go to, let's see. Let's go to Bill in Habertown. He's on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill, welcome in.
Hey.
Yo, Bill.
Dom, how you doing?
Great, Bill.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, Dom.
Hi, Bill.
Yeah, this topic you're talking about is near and dear to my heart, and I'm one who actually, kind of put my money where my mouth is on this one. I was from Havertown, and recently, a couple years ago, bought a farm in Schuylkill County after kind of going down a path of, the curiosity to me was, why is the allergy epidemic what it is? Eczema, the gluten allergies, the lactose.
Right.
None of that existed when I was younger, or it was very rare. So I started going down a path, and I realized, wow, it is crazy what we're doing to our food. And then so I started a farm. I have cows, pigs, chickens, and I said, worst case scenario, I make great food for my family. But after eating that food myself, just in a matter of a couple months, I dropped 30 pounds without doing any dieting whatsoever. It's crazy the amount of nutrients. So our brain tells us you're full when your nutrient load is met. However, we're feeding ourselves food that is so nutrient deprived that we just keep eating empty food. It's like feeding kids candy over and over and over.
Well, that's a really good point, Bill. And you're tapping into some of the stuff with RFK Jr. that is going to make a difference here. I just think, I look at kids, and I still think lack of playing. I mean, as a kid, in certain bygone eras, you would play 8 to 10 hours a day. Are kids doing that now?
Oh, 100%. Like my kids, there's no video games. I did that early with my oldest of 6. I smashed the video game out on the front porch, and I said, we're done with this.
Oh, man, I'm looking at Henry and Dan here. No video games. The two of them look like they're crawling the wall here. My goodness.
I don't have time for video games
It was
anymore.
Yeah.
And I said, a lot of my peers, well, they need that everybody has it. And I'm like, well, not really if you present them other options.
Gotcha.
Well, Bill, unfortunately,
I'm glad you're down 30 pounds. That is remarkable. Who's somebody, Bill, today's side who was very relevant and is no longer.
I don't know if I can say this one.
Let's say
He used to be a talk show host on your station.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Dom, can I say one more thing?
We'll put that down. They know who you mean. That's fine. Yes.
Actually.
No. I think, come on now. Don't egg it on. Yeah, Bill, go ahead.
He's
Yes.
bald like me. The USDA, the other part that I realized in this is the regulation is unbelievable for a small farmer. And I said, why is it that I can see my neighbor, see how he raises his animal, decide that's how I want my food to be produced, and purchase a pork chop from him, and that's illegal. But I can buy heroin and shoot it up in a government-sponsored safe injection site. Why is that? As a consenting adult, why can't I choose where to buy my food?
Gotcha. The raw milk thing with the Amish. By the way, Dan, you were not here during that. You were, conferring with Dawn. Beginning of the show, we got this nugget from a woman we're trying to get on. She's on the Trump transition team, or at least she was on one of these.
Mm-hmm.
She calls herself Dr. Shrink on Twitter.
Okay.
The Daily Mail, international newspaper, says that Scott Presler registered, one way or another, 180,000 Amish. Wow. If that's the case, I think they're block voters.
To think, Dom, like one of the angles we don't discuss much is when we're talking Amish, and it's kind of like unknown by everybody, but we're talking people that don't have the technology to do the phone calls or be reached on the internet. These are face-to-face connections that this guy and his team are making. And how many again did you say?
He said 180,000. This woman said it. It's in the Daily Mail article. So I think that's a bit overblown, but he did more than even I thought. I had the Amish on in 2004. A guy that was a listener held the phone up, speakerphone, and the Amish guy was able to talk into it. And the reason was the Amish won Ohio for Bush. They were the deciding vote.
It's really sad that their entire life is built around not being impeded on by the outside world. And the Democrats were so invasive on our lives that they had no option but to vote to make that stop.
Yeah. And who was it that jumped on it? Scott Presler.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I don't want to go nuts quarterbacking the Trump thing and all, but they got to put him in charge of something. The next election, he lives for it. Just give him the resources, stay out of his way, let him do his thing. I'm trying to think of a project I might have to get Scott Presler intrigued by it. Oh, my God, what he might do. I have to have DJ meet Scott Presler. That would be an interesting.
That would be.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so 855-839-1210, that's how you get on board. I wonder if we have a day and time with Dom today. I know we've been out of that. So
my mind is still mush, Dom.
Oh, there we go.
He's been dragging back.
So
you don't understand how many times I've made Henry yawn just out of contagion.
Yeah.
Okay, that might be Henry time then. Might be the next subset.
On the spot, Henry, you're getting it.
Neither one of them have it. No Dan time, no Henry time. That means it could be DJ time or Maisie time
or
caller
time. We have so many calls.
Yes, I'm coming to the calls too. Hey, batteries plus bulbs. My buddy Roy, been telling you about them. I think it's at least 10 years. And the reason is he gets listeners all the time. Once we mention we're talking about parental rights, his credo is customer service. And by customer service, not only unbelievable expertise fixing your phone or anything that's electronic, tech, any of that. That's what they can do. But also, they don't belittle you. It's feeling like, oh, why didn't you know this? They realize people are not as doing this every day as they are. I've sent hundreds of people there with everything from a radiation detector to sentimental toys to photos that nobody else could get off the phone of someone who died. It goes on and on and on. It's just the garden variety stuff. So because of that, they're inundated. Roy needs some help. Handy do-it-yourselfers would be ideal. It's a great low-pressure part-time job. As I said, customer service is the key. Talk to Roy. Talk to them in business. There you go. You want an energy audit. You want some creative ways to bypass. Someone comes in and says, we can fix it, but it'll be $1 million. You don't want to hear that. Deal with them. Get it, have them in your, you need a plumber to call in a moment's notice. Roy's the guy that you want to call, he and his staff, at 856-638-0778. Roy tells me all the time, just remind him, we power it, we light it, and then we fix it. 856 638-0778. Batteries plus bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Dawn Stensland here. We're off to paradise once again, the Italian Riviera, on a gastronomical event that only Conservative Tours can deliver. Join me for 11 luxurious days with the professionals from Conservative Tours, the best tour operator in Italy. A+ rating with the BBB. Portofino, Rapallo, Santa Margherita, Ligure, Tuscany, and the brilliant Cinque Terre, $53.78. That includes your airfare, dining events at the wineries in Tuscany, even an authentic farm visit to see Parmesan cheese being crafted by hand. Toll free 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. Hidden Italian villages you've never seen, like Giacomo Puccini, San Gimignano, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Florence, and Milan. And concluding on the Lakes region with Bellagio, Orta, and Isola Bella. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Cinque Terre. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Harry, if you watch any more of those stupid financial shows, I'm filing for divorce.
How am I going to keep up with our retirement accounts?
At JML Financial Group, we want you watching your grandkids playing soccer and sunsets in Hawaii, not the latest rumor of a market crash. Surprisingly, with proper income planning, the stock market shouldn't even be a concern. The money came in every 2 weeks while you worked. It should be the same in your retirement years. Let us show you how. Call JML Financial Group today at 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. So, when your neighbor's sunbathing in the front yard,
Harry, you're an idiot. Get away from the window.
keep your eyes focused where they should be, on enjoying your retirement. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Don't miss The Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
The unseasonably warm air mass continues through the remainder of the work week. A mix of sun and clouds today with a high temperature well above average at 78. Cooler tonight, mostly clear, low 50 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. Not as warm on Friday, plenty of sunshine with a high near 70.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. I told you at the top of the show, I just wanted to play you with Bob Brady, the chairman in Philadelphia Democrats, and ask you a question. Where? And I can tell Dan, look, we get along with Victor Fiorillo over at Philly Mag, but at times there is a shootout that goes on. He has the exact spot in Philadelphia, the precinct, I guess, rather than the division. Now, we know it's a 26 ward where I was the other night for that big rally. Anybody want to guess, and I'll tell you in a moment, where is the exact division that was overwhelmingly for Trump? We told you that at one point Romney, if you remember, got 0 votes in certain divisions in Philadelphia and neighborhoods. Trump in one I think, got 70. Well, I know in one word, Trump got 57.5% of the vote to 41 for Harris. That's amazing anywhere in Philadelphia. And we thought Northeast Philadelphia would be more Trump country. I'm here to argue, no, it's South Philly, or at least major pockets of South Philly. Here's Bob Brady, though. First, our buddy Tommy McDonald had him. But then I think Fox picked up on it, talking about what it was like to deal with Kamala Harris.
The national campaign, nothing, zero. They had no respect. They had no coordination. They didn't talk. I never even had a conversation with the lady. They didn't even do the right thing as far as giving us the resources that we need, and they want to blame us. And now I understand somebody over at Cape was blaming Joe Biden. Can you imagine blaming Joe Biden for her loss? She lost. He didn't lose.
Based on your experience in Philadelphia, do you think that it is indicative of how this campaign was run nationwide?
It kind of seems that way, don't it? I mentioned our collar counties. They didn't give them any respect. They were screaming and hollering for signs. They didn't get them to the last minute.
Oh, we hope this. Now, look, he's a moderate Democrat, transactional, et cetera. Dan, he did owe up to that he lost the bet big time, and we're setting the lobster dinner. I'd like to do it where listeners can come out and have whatever they want dinner at a place. We'll see if we arrive at that. It'll be fun.
Really stand-up guy.
Yeah, he is.
Like
and them dealing with, and look, he thinks Biden would have lost worse, potentially. I still think he would have. They had the energy in the beginning that got him going. Oh, he also said, and they didn't even put Josh Shapiro in. I just don't think the media is making enough of this because the reason it's an indictment of the Democrat Party going forward. Elise Stefanik talked about the uptick in Jewish voters. I don't know if she was just talking about New York, but in various places across the country that were noticeable this time around. We're still parsing the numbers. Now, I know you can make the argument. I mean, come on, look at how anti-Israel they are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We had the battle over at Jaime's of Ed Rendell and that commercial versus the Republican Jewish coalition. So, yeah, Jewish voters noticeably went toward Trump versus other Republicans. That's a fair statement. And here locally, you could see the nonsense they were doing. And one of them, Dan, is the point I made, he was the guy running the Helen Gim campaign, the guy that said, I'm going to have to pack my bags.
I find that?
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Imagine putting out a news release on me to 200 media outlets. I couldn't believe it. It was manna
amazing.
from
It
heaven.
was great.
Yeah, simply because Democrats came on the show.
It was so snarky.
Yeah, he's the guy attacking Bob Brady and, questioning, taking money and everything else here. He was the Kamala Harris person here. You see what they have in common? Even inside their own party, they can't get along. They can't do it. They're snotty. They're elitist. It's that type of mentality. In fact,
the thing about Bob, though, he's a winner. Like, he knows how to win.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's been 100% right since day. Like, he called so much that's happened here.
This is Cut 21, Henry. Here we have AOC, who came to Philadelphia down there on the Dickinson Park area. Here's what AOC said the lesson of this election is.
We have had an enormous setback in this election because the fascist won a lot of working class support, which has happened before in history, and we can talk about that. But, I think what is important is that we have to be able to hold that analysis and have these discussions without turning on each other.
So what is the analysis here? You see what she's doing there. She's throwing it in. Well, Mussolini had the support. Hitler certainly had the support. It's happened before in history. They still can't own up to the fact of what they've done. Bernie Sanders criticized them, but he went off. They haven't gone far enough of giving people stuff. Did they ever think it's not just about inflation? It's about how radical the party is, how far they've gone on things. And here they couldn't buy people off anymore because they decimated them with inflation. What were they left with? They were left with nothing other than antagonism of wide swaths of voters. And I guess those Latino voters, AOC, I mean, has anybody there ever asked a question? Are they people supporting fascists? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, somebody ought to jump in there and say, well, let's slow down here. Why would they be supporting fascists? What are you saying here? And how do you counter that? All right, I'm going to come to your calls immediately next. 855.
Still vigorously searching for this Helen Gim press release as well.
Oh, yeah. Pull it up, the press release, where the guy tells me at the end. I should have framed that.
You really should have.
When the guy said to me, start packing your bags, Giordano, because I had written a column saying I might move out of Philadelphia, telling Gim
being all over New Jersey and not being from Pennsylvania, too. Well, we saw how that worked out for the election.
Right. And he goes after Bob Brady now in this type of thing. It's the Helen Gim factor. They can't take it that they can't win. They were outed here, even in Philadelphia. We'll have a lobster dinner out of it. I don't know about eating the lobster, though.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll eat your lobster.
I'm not sure about that.
Can I be invited to this dinner? And
you could be a designated lobster eater.
You can have my coleslaw.
Okay. Now, what would I like? A nice vegetable? Pasta, of course.
Yeah.
That's safe enough. Yeah. Just make sure my seat.
Do you eat lobster ravioli?
No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Make sure my seat is against the wall. It can't be like I'm taken out of here in the best meal in the city or something. All right. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Thursday night, tonight, Bengals at Ravens. Ravens have to do a little bit better here. Derrick Henry over rushing yards. I would say okay. Joe Burrow is certainly over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Deontay Johnson over receiving yards. Henry, just yay or nay on that last one?
Say it again, sorry.
Deontay Johnson over receiving yards?
Yeah, why not? New team.
Okay.
Get him the ball. Force feed him. Take his receptions, too.
Check that snap count.
All right, there you go. That's right. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom. You can make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. At to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Media Theater Saturday, November 16th, and Newman Goretti High School in South Philly Saturday, November 23rd.
I loved it. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure I'd like it, but I'll tell you, I'm glad I came. Best ever.
He reinvented himself. It was really good, man.
The music, the singing, everything.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at the Media Theater November 16th, and Newman Goretti in South Philly November 23rd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets, because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's stand time.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
With Dom.
Yeah, that's right. I have it here sitting in my nicotine-stained fingers. Dom, the press release that was sent out by
Formerly nicotine, yes.
Well, still kind of. Yeah. No comment.
Unless it dies.
Yeah, 3 milligrams.
I didn't bring your charger today.
Still going. So, Dom, I got the press release from the Helen Gim campaign that was sent out against, after we did that great mayoral showcase with Dom Giordano. Remember, we were kind of bashing her because she didn't attend it. She was the only major candidate for mayor, and they write that in the press release, who didn't attend the Dom Giordano mayoral showcase on 1210 WPHT during the election season. So, Dom, I'm going to read the press release. Do you want to contextualize why I have the press release for anyone joining us after the break?
Because this is Brandon McPhillips. Is it McPhillips or Phillips? Who was Helen Gim's chief guy and was Kamala Harris's chief guy here in Philadelphia in a feud with Bob Brady.
Over the strategy of the Kamala campaign.
Right.
So he writes, this past Friday, I just read that, Dom Giordano is someone who said Black Lives Matter is a group that must be marginalized as much as possible, quote. He's spoken out against allowing trans students to play sports in school. Oh. And he's opposed Philadelphia's status as a sanctuary city that's welcoming to immigrant communities.
Editor's note, that's the best you got. This is as bad as the Howard Stern researchers. My God.
Jeff Brown, Sherelle Parker, Rebecca Reinhart, Alan Dom were among the candidates who appeared during the forum and spoke with Giordano. Jeff Brown made sure to note during his appearance with Giordano on Friday that he was, quote, a longtime friend of the show. They made sure to put that in the press release. What does Jeff Brown like most about his friend Dom Giordano? Is it hating trans youth, marginalizing Black Lives Matter, or repealing Philadelphia's sanctuary city status? Asked Brendan McPhillips, Gim's campaign manager. Someone needs to remind these other candidates that they're running in a Democratic primary. This is an example of Brown acting like any other status quo politician, flirting with someone he thinks is a power player. If he's elected, nothing will change. Instead of courting Dom Giordano and his audience of South Jersey Republicans, Helen was out in the community talking to actual voters about how we can improve the city we are proud to call home. You want me to keep going? Because it gets better.
It's just good. Oh, go ahead.
It gets better. At the same time, Dom Giordano's event was happening on Friday afternoon. They tell what Gim was doing, going around the streets, making our justice system more equitable and ensuring City Hall is more responsive to the neighborhood's needs. In a recent op-ed that you wrote, Giordano said, if a former city council person, Helen Gim, becomes mayor, I will move out of Philadelphia. He better start packing, quote, said McPhillips. That's how the news release ends. How snarky. I love it, man.
Oh, this
Great
guy.
memories.
Now he's into it with Bob Brady. Oh, man, I would take the odds on Brady.
All I got for Dan time, Dom.
All right, Joe in Bordentown's got something quick here on the Fruit Loops situation with RFK Jr. Joe, what's your point on the Fruit Loops?
The Fruit Loops is, first of all, there are no blue Fruit Loops in Canadian or European Fruit Loops, and it's because of the food coloring. They have a different standard, and only the American Fruit Loops have the food coloring in them. And in Canada and Europe, they have a different colors that they put in. Plus, there are no blue Fruit Loops in Canada or Europe.
So are we going to ban blue Fruit Loops, do you think?
I feel like blue's the best Fruit Loop.
Joe?
Yeah?
Should we ban blue Fruit Loops then? Is that what
No.
Kennedy's saying?
Oh, and I want to mention one other thing, that it's Marie Curie's birthday today, and she was Polish.
Love it, Joe. I love that you always drop that in there,
Yes, she was
man.
one of the most brilliant Poles in history,
Joe,
without
are you
a doubt.
Polish yourself?
Short list.
Yeah, there you go, Henry. Thank you.
Russian and Hungarian.
Okay. All right. Well, Joe, put down the goulash. Who is your person that was relevant?
63.
Okay. Joe, who was relevant now? Not so much.
Menudo.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky Martin just performed at the Kamala campaign.
There you go. That's what I was
he's
dragging
still
him.
relevant.
Yeah. Thank you very much. A lot of them are blaming George Clooney because he took Biden out. Do they want Biden to be the nominee then? Is that what they should have done? All right, we're waiting the Fed rate decision. We'll tell you that coming up. And also, I mentioned this, where were they gaga in Philadelphia to vote for President Trump Philly Mag kind of takes a shot at it and says, oh, it figures. That's why they were gaga, because of other incidents. But we'll get you in Dom's Money Melody for a big prize today, too. All coming up on Talk Radio 1210.
The continuing rise of the cost of goods and services threatens to erode your retirement future.
Susan Sinoski, Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Retirees should be thinking about how much money they have and how long it's going to last. Costs are just skyrocketing. Medical costs, housing, food especially. And when was the last time you ever heard of a tax decrease? And I have to say, I have no fear at all, because my money is safeguarded with crash-proof retirement. And with our crash-proof retirement system, our money is not just stable, but it's actually increasing much more than we had expected. That money is always added to our principal without anybody getting a cut of that. It's just ours. We earn it, it goes into our account, and it continues to grow and multiply. My entire investment for retirement is protected.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding for years now. How much I love the work the Chapman family team has done in my home, especially that wall of glass patio doors that replaced some windows when you walk into my foyer area. You know by now, if I needed windows, doors, or siding, I would only trust the Chapman team. But did you know they also install shutters? A perfect complement to your new windows. For the month of November, Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding is giving away a pair of shutters when you purchase 2 pairs. The right shutters can really enhance the curb appeal of your home. Whether you or somebody you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, shutters, or hardware, just give them a call. You can text them. They're local. 610-431-8898. That's 610-431-8898. You can always take a virtual tour online, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Get all the details. That's ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out.
I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything.
Have you tried shopping jewelry television, JTV?
I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different.
JTV has thousands of jewelry styles, artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax?
Yes. Another round?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Okay, it is Dom time. We have this odds makers thing that put odds down on political things, not athletic things that we go to. It's kind of fun stuff. Here are the odds on Secretary of State. They say 5-4 is Richard Grenell. We've seen him before. I think he was the ambassador to Germany. He's pretty close to Trump. Robert O'Brien, who was a top national security advisor, he's 4-1. Here's the name, though. Tulsi Gabbard, 6-1.
I like those odds.
As Secretary of State. I'm not seeing that. That would be wild. And Marco Rubio, who I think would be fine, is 10-1. Secretary of Defense, we love this guy, Mike Walls, he is 2-3. He's the odds on. Mike Pompeo, 3-1. Tom Cotton, 7-1. Let's see if there are any other good ones. And Homeland Security, Tom Homan, he's a border guy, 1-1. I think he'd be fine as Homeland Security. Interesting with Tulsi Gabbard in there. Let's see. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. The world is waiting to see if the Fed lowers interest rates again. And this has a lot of stuff for people trying to get into a home. General economic situation, without a doubt. It helps. It's a stimulus. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I pulled up, too, someone hit me on Twitter, something you'd like to see Republicans try to do if they have all three branches of government, two branches of Congress and the White House, and that is lock in the Supreme Court at 9. That apparently is not a constitutional amendment, because I thought it had changed over the course of time. Congress could do that. Now, that'd be a heck of a battle. Democrats would fight that almost as much as anything. And I gave you some of the things President Trump, in the first few hours, the first few days, that he's promised that are major. One, Ukraine. That's probably the biggest, most consequential. I don't see that happening the first day. I don't see that happening for months. But if he could get even a ceasefire there, that would be a big improvement. Is that possible? Potentially. We talked about any number of other things, and we'll see what he does with the January 6th rioters, or, case by case. Several people agreed with me. That's the way to deal with that as far as pardoning or commuting the sentence. All right, let's go to Christian in Jenkintown on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Christian.
Good afternoon, sir. On the subject of passing a law or even putting pressure on the states, having the states' ID laws for voting mirror the ID laws necessary to purchase a firearm. Both are protected by the Constitution in the same way. Neither mentions ID specifically, so I think that might be something they might be able to get pushed through.
They're not going to be able to do a national level. That's a state's issue.
Agreed, but it's protected by the Constitution. So I'm just saying, and then when you look at firearms, like there's the ATF associated with that. I think that there's pressure that could be made that if you're saying it is illegal to demand an ID for voting, I think that there's room to say, well, then why is it illegal to demand an ID for a firearm?
Okay, I got to think about that. But I would like that to be at the state level. And Republicans had a shot, as you know, here in Pennsylvania with Tom Corbett. They blew it. They couldn't message it correctly. It's off the charts. It's 80% of people that want it. But they will die. They will fight to the end, Democrats. And they usually have enough votes and a few Republicans to stop it. So I hear what you're saying. It's a good argument. Who was relevant, Christian, and now is irrelevant?
Pick a Bush, any Bush. Okay. I think they were power players at one point, but they're radioactive at this point, and kind of anybody associated with them. I mean, Cheney. The fact that Cheney's relevant to the Dems when he was persona non grata for how many years? I mean, he was pure evil, and now his family are talking heads for the Dems. They're gone. They've left.
Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, the Bushes, irrelevant.
Please clap.
Trump has beat the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas, the Cheneys, and we can add on a bunch of others as outlasted them here. That's what's happened in this. All right, so we've been talking. I didn't play you the Fruit Loops thing. Here is cut. This is, where's the Fruit Loops here? Okay, this is cut 8. It's RFK Jr. going back and forth, battling over potentially banning Fruit Loops. Cut 8.
Hold on.
All right. Little glitch here. They don't like the
Yeah.
Fruit
Dan
Loops.
had music running up here.
Okay. All right.
I mean, think about the number of younger people getting cancer as compared to other developed worlds. Now, one could debate if RFK should be the person overseeing that or not. Could he be a part of the conversations? I'm not going to say one way or the other. But I do think there's some very serious elements that we're seeing an increase in with younger people. People are starting to worry, what's going on with our food system? Why aren't we taking better care of ourselves? It would be great for Republicans to
go
spearhead
ahead and
that.
try to take people's Frosted Flakes away and see how, see how that works in 2022.
I was waiting for my Fruit Loops bowl.
Not even his family thinks.
Are there Fruit Loops in your house, Scott?
Oh, there's all kinds of things in my house that ought not be there. But that's the struggles of a parent that has four. Look, you and I are in the same boat here.
Yes,
we know what it's like to try to fight the food situation in this country. And when you have kids, it's damn near impossible to fight it. So I have some sympathies for this because I worry every day about what the kids are ingesting. And then, a lot of days you're like, I guess I'm just going to have to go with it. And you don't feel great about it, but the parents wrestle with these questions all the time.
As a Republican, you're for individual choice. You're for parental choice. You're not for RFK telling you that you have to choose or that you can't choose what cereal you
These are the conversations, and she loves Fruit Loops.
I wasn't allowed to eat them as a child, but I love them.
All right, there we go. So, look, RFK, I don't see him banning Fruit Loops or talking about this. We had on a great guest, Tiffany Justice, Moms for Liberty, that made the point, yes, Trump is going to appoint him to something or give him a portfolio here, but they're going to be guardrails. Let's not get too crazed over RFK Jr. here, too gaga over this. It's good to open up this whole area. But I'm not just signing off just because in talk radio it's chic now to say whatever this guy says. He said a lot of nutty things, too. One of the reasons he didn't get traction were some of these things. Opening up, though, how much it is the food, and if that's the case, what is it? Are we going to take away things, choice, that people might like, and say it's so insidious what the food companies or big pharma, but food companies, let's stick on that, are doing with kids, that we're going to take it away because parents, to Scott Jennings' point, have trouble pushing back on us. If it's there, they're going to want it because they get used to it and other people eat it. It's a very tough thing to parent. I still come back to, though, I don't care what he says. To me, it's running around, exercise, things of that nature that are a big ingredient in this. And that has nothing to do with anybody other than how we've evolved into too much sitting, too much watching, and not doing that. As far as younger ages of cancer and all that, we'll see. It's a good debate. He's going to open up a lot of areas of debate. I'm just cautioning, just because he says it doesn't mean it's not potentially nutbag here. I can hardly wait till he actually has some power. We actually see some proposals. By the way, President Trump, speaking of fast food, sent a letter to McDonald's. I'll read you from the letter. Please accept this letter as formal notice of my resignation from my position at McDonald's, effective Monday, January 20th, 2025, signed by his father on a McDonald's letterhead. This letter gave the resignation date, the same date as the inaugural date. The letter went on to state that Trump has enjoyed the opportunity to serve customers flipping burgers, making fries, and managing the drive-thru. This is from Don Trump Jr., posted this on his Instagram, a tongue-in-cheek resignation letter. A lot has been made about the McDonald's thing. It's one of the top 10 things. I'm working up my big list. I might do it tomorrow. The top 10 things that we remember from this struggle that may have been turning points, that might have been instrumental in this, things that happened. Tell me honestly. Now, I'm saying it should be in the top 10. I'm working on this for tomorrow. And, Dan, you can send me anything you want, Henry, too, from this whole thing. Either, look, we have a winner. What did the winner do that helped him to win is what I'm asking. What were the incidents? What were the things? And what did the loser do that didn't help her, that were a turning point? Conceding that Trump had a lot of negative things And Harris had a lot of negative things or positive things on her side, ideological.
Are we talking like moments? Just
moments
crucial?
or a strategy, something they did.
Well,
And
strategy.
the McDonald's, strategy was the bro tour that he did of these podcasts.
Yeah, for Trump.
Including Joe Rogan. I was going to finish with one. The McDonald's thing, though, did reverberate. He didn't dress like Walls. He didn't do any of that. He did it. There was a big crowd out there on election night. Who was it that we had that said that moment they thought Trump was going to have a really good shot because of all the people that were there? Somebody that was on with us.
Yeah, we had so much.
It wasn't Jim Worthington. It was somebody national. I don't know if it was Will Cain. It was somebody. Okay, so hit me on Twitter at DomShow1210. Dan, do you have one?
Well, on the other side of things, Kamala, I think the most crucial mistake she made, and we talk about it all the time here, is Shapiro, because it really did come down to Pennsylvania, and I think he would have swung Pennsylvania the other way.
I think a bigger one was the answer on The View, but Shapiro right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonny Hostin, here comes a beach ball is on the tee, and Kamala goes, I don't think I'll swing. Didn't she have a way of getting away from Biden without completely going to war with him? And she wouldn't do it. I can't think of a single thing.
And another moment that really, with my friends, kind of won them over to Trump was during the convention when Trump had the lights with his name and there was like a whole lot of camaraderie that was on a grand stage.
Right.
Not talked about a lot, but the convention was fantastic for drawing in and solidifying a lot of votes.
Exactly. Is it in the top 10? Now, you would think it would have to be the 2 assassination attempts and getting shot, etc. Is that in there? I'm doubtful. That seemed to go away. The media helped to make it go away. How many candidates get shot that dramatically, get up and say, fight, 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 then almost assassinated again on the golf course? Do you have it in your top 10?
Yep.
How come? It's just so dramatic you can't deny?
I mean, the guy was, yeah. That's essentially what it is you can't deny the impact that it was. Like, I think that moment when you have an entire party who's alluding that the Democrats are actually the baddies, not the right, and then you have a guy that's shot at, that solidified for a hell of a lot of people both times.
I might controversially not put it in the top 10.
That the right wasn't the baddies,
as dramatic as this is, it seemed to fade away. I just don't. The media did a good job of having it fade away. At the moment, Dan, we were having Don Trump Jr. coming here, and when it happened, we had some people, not Greg, but somebody else, we're going to have to double the ticket price. My God, after this, can you imagine what it's going to be? Henry, would you say that's in the top 10?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean,
has to be,
the imagery and the showmanship after that,
all there. But did it matter in the end?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the recency bias kind of takes over with, things late in the campaign, like a McDonald's visit. Yeah, those probably prevail more in people's minds, but you can't deny the fact that was a turning point in this election.
Like Sue from Hainesport that called it in election night.
Right.
Where she was out there with the kind of hype that Trump drew out to the polls.
Right.
I don't think you get that kind of hype without the catalyst being the fight, fist pump.
All right, I'll ask people that. I mean, to me, it was, does it reinforce with others? I have to give the media credit in their skullduggery there, that somehow or another. And then there was a second almost attempt. You would think that would be enough. And yet when we got to election night, I still stick by what I said. I thought it was going to be close. Trump had the momentum, but Pennsylvania was going to be 50,000 votes or under. By the way, Dan, no action on your news desk, but it looks like by most accounts that I'm being texted that McCormick is going to win. But the slow pace of this, my God, we're coming up on 48 hours out of the polls closing. And we still don't have a decision. He's up about 30,000. The over-under is, I believe, if it's a half point, and it's right on the cusp of a half point to have a recount. They do a recount, and McCormick loses. It's not going to happen, but I don't know if Linda Kearns is involved. Yeah. Well, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, all right.
One more top 5 moment, in my opinion.
Yes.
And it's not talked about as often as it should be, but the Biden versus Trump debate.
Yes, we forget about that, too. That triggered all that we saw play out. But I would argue Biden was going to lose to him anyhow.
But not that bad.
So
that was embarrassing for Democrats.
Tagging in Kamala Harris, Biden would have been worse. Biden can't say, oh, look at her, she lost. He would have lost worse. I can't imagine, given what we've seen, that Biden would have done better. He wouldn't have. It's obvious. There's no way. All right, I still want to put up there in the top 2 or 3, $35 million of ads on the transgender thing. I still think that's the secret sauce that really helped here with a lot of people. But it seems like the goofball comedian, speak of irrelevant, what was that guy's name? I don't remember.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
It's amazing that you do. He's irrelevant. He didn't matter in this election. Or you think he did?
In that space, yeah. He
Have you watched any Tony since the thing? And
there you go.
No, I haven't seen any clips lately, no.
Is he a household name?
His show has gained a lot of popularity over the last few years.
The thing is, though, apparently, like I subscribe to this subreddit, Kill Tony.
Yeah.
And some fans are annoyed that his head's gotten apparently pretty large since becoming a national focus.
Guy really sets me off. I just can't stand it. You know what it is? It's the blatancy of it. When you get kicked out of the roast of the Tom Brady thing, and the Trump people put this guy up there, I want to know who did that. I want to see. Who is it?
MAGA Man says, where do you put Joe Rogan endorsing?
I might make the top 10.
Yeah.
I was at the 11 and a half hour, right?
A little too late in the game.
If he had done it a week in advance, I might we still don't know. Did these young men, Henry's working on the guy that was the Trump guy on this. Did they actually come out and vote? I'm still skeptical of that. Men in general did. But did they? Yeah, I got to put that one down. That might make the top 10. But The View, Dan, might be the number 1. It's shocking. That could be the moment. I would say that was a bigger moment than the assassination thing. Definitely, I'd say that. That's how devastating it was for Harris, how bad it was. Okay, the garbage comment, maybe recency bias, that had carry. There was a lot of play with that. That really helped at the end. Let's go to Alan in Hamilton. All right, Alan, who's the relevant to irrelevant?
Mason Reese.
Go ahead.
You recognize that name?
No.
He made commercials, and he was a guest host on the Mike Douglas show. And now, as I told the guy who answered the phone today, he's 59 years old and he's lost.
Thank you. Yeah, he's lost. I don't know about that he was a star that he dropped that far.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. Yeah, Mason Reese, if you're listening, give us a call.
In.
You know, the Mike Douglas show was here in Philadelphia and was national.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. The Beatles, like Lennon hosted with him. Lennon hosted with him. Can you imagine a show like that for a week? And Roger Ailes was the producer, among others.
Former child actor, Mason Reese.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Reese.
I actually recognize, you'd recognize the guy if you saw him.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just, yeah.
We're still waiting for Nevada's results.
Red-haired, curly red-haired.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we continue on with Dom's Money Melody.
Dom's Money Melody.
And this is a great prize. $50 gift card to the Melting Pot. Are you down to fondue? Melting Pot is offering an all-new Down to Fondue happy hour available at the bar. Enjoy half-off cheese and chocolate fondue. Dates and times may vary. Visit meltingpot.com for details. All right, Dan.
Yeah, Dom, we're talking about irrelevant people. Well, let's talk about an irrelevant group. A group that was once on the walls of every preteen girl in the mid-'90s, late 90s. A group of 3 related individuals doing a cover of Bill Withers here. We want to know the name of this band that was very relevant in the mid-'90s. Really have fallen completely into irrelevancy. Appear on The Masked Singer at one point, but that's the only time I can think of hearing them. But they're really good musicians, believe it or not. Take a listen.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's going to stay.
So, Dom, 3 individuals related somehow on the walls of preteen girls everywhere in the mid to late 90s. We want to know this band that's falling into irrelevancy covering Bill Withers here, Dom.
That is very good. I think that's a pretty good cover.
It is. It is.
All right. Hit us with that, and you're off. life to the melting pot. 855-839-1210.
And Lord, leave the young thing alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Hey, it's Rich Zeoli. You know that Dr. Mike Veneria is my friend. He's my dentist. He's the master of dental implants. Did you also know that he hosts an annual Veterans Breakfast every year to thank our men and women who have served our country? And he also hosts a free community shredding event so you can shred all those confidential, sensitive documents so nobody hacks your identity and tracks you down. Saturday, November 9th, Veterans Day weekend. Your opportunity to come out, say hello to our veterans, thank them, get some coffee, cake, donuts, even breakfast pizza. Breakfast pizza, what's that? It's a real thing. And if you've been thinking about getting that beautiful smile you deserve, reach out to my buddy Dr. Mike Veneria. For 12 years, he's been recognized among his peers as a master of dental implants. He's a guy who cares, he gives back to our veterans and our community, and he's my entire family's dentist. You won't be disappointed. So come out on Saturday, November 9th for the Veterans event and free community shredding event. Go to veneriadental.com for more information. veneriadental.com. I'll see you Saturday, November 9th at his Cinnaminson office, veneriadental.com.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world. And sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone? Show me the money.
All right, before you play it, this is too good to miss. The View today, Sonny Hostin, who we were just talking about, says the GOP ought to do a post-mortem after the Trump victory to figure out what's wrong with them. Oh, man. Brilliance that comes out of these women. They're just, what an embarrassment to women. All right, let's hear the clue, and we want to know who's covering this song.
Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's going to stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes.
This group of three were on the walls of preteen girls everywhere in the mid to late 90s.
Got a lot of female callers. Maybe these people are one of them.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Let's go to Terry in Cherry Hill. All right, Terry, who's covering that song?
Is it Hanson?
Yes. Did you happen to have the Hanson boys up there on your wall?
No, unfortunately, I'm in the David Cassidy era.
Hey, pictures of you on the wall there, Dom.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's put that picture up again and get the David Cassidy look. All right,
yes,
definitely, yes.
That was my era.
All right, I'll put you there. David Cassidy, much better than the Hansons. Come on.
Hanson Brother Band. Yep, Hanson, a huge band in the mid to late 90s. Recently on The Masked Singer. Put out an album a couple of years ago, but really not doing much. Kind of fallen to being irrelevant. But, Dom, over and over again, I stumble on these guys on YouTube doing an acoustic cover of something or another, and I'm shocked over and over again as to how good of musicians they actually are. Maybe can't write their own music, and that's the problem.
That's what it is.
But really good cover artists.
Good stuff. All right, I've been teasing this. Victor Fiorillo over at Philly Magazine. Where was the epicenter of Trump support? What division in Philadelphia? He says the division lies in the blocks between Broad and 16th Street and Bigler and the Schuylkill Expressway, plus the slivers of 16th Street and that run between Bigler and Moyamensi. Yes, the division is immediately adjacent to the infamous Marconi Plaza, where men with guns, bats, and hatchets protected the plaza's Christopher Columbus statue. Any coincidence that they voted for Trump? Remember, they are the infamous gravy seals. Those guys that said, now I told them, Dan, we had them on and said, come on, you guys don't need that. Just have a tank top on, standing in front of these guys. What are they going to do? You know, they're not going to do anything to you. You know, you don't need any weapons. You don't need to have a softball bat there. Just be standing there, a couple hundred of you. You would need the rest of the Center City mob. Can you imagine those guys coming from Center City down there to buy? I don't think so. All right, at the statue. All right, so that was the epicenter. But Trump did so well in some awards and divisions in Philadelphia, mainly in South Philly. I'm looking at one where it was 57% that he got. It was remarkable stuff. Northeast Philadelphia did well, too. He won 5 wards in Philadelphia on Election Day, the 26th ward in Deep South Philly, the 45th, which includes parts of Port Richmond and Bridesburg, and the others in Northeast Philadelphia. Best overall number in the 58th ward, Somerton and Bustleton. And if you're sitting at the intersection of Bustleton Avenue and Red Lion Road, you're in the heart of this area. He received 57.5% of the vote. He did write that in certain neighborhoods, he got only some divisions 5 to 9 votes. Yeah, well, that's where Romney got 0. So Trump did a lot better. All right, but South Philly, there are, each time it gets better. Can any other Republican do something like that? Well, that's to be seen coming up. All right, we joked a lot the other day about Georgetown on election night, having the kiddos there have Lego sets and cookies to play with. I have a new one, the University of Puget Sound.
Where's my Lego set, Dom?
That's right. In Washington, they've added more than a dozen election-related things. One of them I think Dan would like, so we'll give you that coming up and your calls. The irrelevant today is that going to be happening to Kamala Harris? You reach the level of nominee. Where do you go from there? They're not going to nominate her again. I'd be shocked if that's the case. So give us somebody who was at the peak or very famous or doing really well, and you don't hear of them, or they're cooked. They
cooked.
just it's Howard Stern is the one embarrassing himself again, saying she was defeated because she's a woman.
I got a couple on Twitter.
Give us a couple, yes.
Jon Stewart.
Yes, I would agree. He vaguely at times, Dan, challenged Colbert. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And then he backpedaled and just doing the same old stuff. Yeah.
And now do you gets credit for this one? Superhero movies?
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah.
Now, producer Bill and I used to argue all the time because the great director Scorsese said they're not really cinema. What are they? Yeah, you don't see superhero. And it was all of a sudden. A blockbuster, relatively easy to make.
Yeah.
Why did superhero movies just go away? It's just a cycle.
Matt Vesey, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I apologize. But great tweeter here. Celebrity political endorsements. You agree there?
Well, yes, it appears that, and I have to say this, I want to see a study of Taylor Swift. I thought, that's going to be a percentage point. Didn't you?
I did.
That was the biggest.
Yeah. And he added a gif of Robert De Niro here, but gosh.
Yeah, he's been irrelevant. I think Oprah's irrelevant. Oprah didn't move the needle at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Taylor Swift.
Oh, here's an interesting one.
That was surprising. Yeah.
The progressive agenda.
Too soon to determine that.
Okay.
I would agree it's on its way, though. It appears to be going that way. I think they're going to double down for a while, though. They don't want to believe it. They're going to continue to try to. Yeah, I think they will. All right, 855-839-1210. And who is their candidate in waiting now? Is it Newsom? Is it Josh Shapiro? It'll be interesting to see what they come up with. All right, jump in. We want to get some great ones going here. Let me tell you about Captain Chucky's, though. Captain Chucky's, not only the great crab cakes, the Dom roll, but also they help with busy meal planning. Getting ready for the holidays, you can't go wrong with all of their offerings, but particularly pick up that Smith Island crab cake jumbo lump. Don't forget the mega colossal crab cakes, delicious, but all their varieties. You can flesh out your entire week. The stuffed mushrooms, salads, appetizers, desserts. Get a tray or two for your football viewing party. Captain Chucky's, too, has several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes. Literally a crab cake for everybody. Then you got the Gulf shrimp. That is a huge hit. It's always wild-caught, never farm-raised, and those delicious Dom rolls. One spot to go to find all this good stuff. Just go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the shore, Captain Chucky's at the shore.com.
Weather sponsored by Holland Floor Covering.
The unseasonably warm air mass continues through the remainder of the work week. A mix of sun and clouds today with a high temperature well above average at 78. Cooler tonight, mostly clear, low 50 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. Not as warm on Friday, plenty of sunshine with a high near 70.
Holland Floor Covering is the region's premier family-owned carpet and flooring dealer. New carpet creates a cozy atmosphere in your home and can add warmth to any room. Showrooms in Wayne and Newtown, free samples and no obligation estimates. HollandFloor.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out.
I'm so stressed from shopping. I couldn't find anything.
Have you tried shopping jewelry television, JTV?
I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different.
JTV has thousands of jewelry styles, artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax?
Yes. Another round?
Yes.
Are you working out, eating healthy, and doing all the right things and still struggling to lose weight? Don't get frustrated. Get answers. You could be having difficulty because of your metabolism. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach, revealing how your diet and lifestyle fit into the bigger picture of how your body burns carbs and fat, allowing you to develop a game plan and see results. Go to lumen.me right now for 30% off. With just one breath, Lumen offers insight into what's happening with your body and promotes optimal metabolic health for easier weight management, improved energy levels, and better fitness results. Go to lumen.me today and get 30% off. Plus, listeners can get an additional 15% off by using promo code RADIO55. That's promo code RADIO55 at lumen.me to get an additional 15% off your first purchase today. LUMEN.ME, promo code RADIO55.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process
process ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Misinformation. Yeah, Americans can't make ends meet because they're being Sonny Hostin on Twitter on The View.
Yeah, for 10 seconds.
They cannot make ends meet because they're being bombarded with misinformation and disinformation. They have no arguments for what is at the base. And Biden said today, "Thank God I'm leaving such a great economy to Trump." It's not about the macro level. It's about the average individual. Are they better off than they were 4 years ago? And the answer is obviously no. Here's Sonny Hostin.
Let me just make my point here. So you have people talking about, well, how did he win Michigan? Because Democrats are saying, oh, she should have talked more about Gaza. No, union halls were empty. Dearborn went for Donald Trump. This is not about a micro issue like Gaza. It's people saying the cost of living is too high. The wages are too low. My life felt better under him. And I know what we'll say. Well, Goldman Sachs says the economy will do better under her. The analysts at UPenn and Wharton. We'll see. Nobody who is struggling to make ends meet at the table, like how am I going to pay this bill, cares what Wharton professors say about the economy.
With misinformation.
And just one more thing I want to say. This issue of abortion, which I hope we can unpack more, there are a lot of women who cared about abortion, but they were in states like Pennsylvania where they don't have an ultra-restrictive abortion law. They were voting more because they're like pocketbook issues matter more than if a woman in Alabama is able to get an abortion.
But they're going to do worse under a Trump administration. The only people that are going to do well are the millionaires and the billionaires.
They just can't. They have no answer to it. So all they can do is hunker down in places where no one's going to challenge them. That's it. They cannot get out there where there would be a challenge. Sonny Hostin is an all-time great example of it. She couldn't withstand. All right, let's think on same levels relatively. I don't mean intelligence, just media type of thing. Megyn Kelly.
Thanks for interrupting there again if you wanted that.
Make ends meet at the table. Like, how am I going to pay this bill? Cares what Wharton professors say about the economy.
That's because they were bombarded with misinformation.
Yeah, so their own real experience of what they faced. And I was skeptical early on that people would tie it to Biden. In other words, we were all, after the spending, we were all saying, my God, can you, every week was a different item. Today, it was Morning Joe, and Henry pulled this one, Dan. I don't think it's on the list here. Here's Morning Joe and Mika. Joe saying, well, was the election really about the cost of butter? Couldn't Democrats have addressed that and told people about that? And he was saying butter's $3. Listen to that exchange.
1 sec, Dom.
Yeah, and Mika, of all people, knows the price of butter. It's incredible tell of how out of touch
Give me 10
these
seconds,
people.
I'll
Okay, let me take a call. We'll play that coming up here.
Henry had it open. I closed.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's go to David in Somerset. Hey, David, how are you doing? Welcome in.
Oh, thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. I've been saying to a lot of my lefty friends on different platforms, it's time for self-reflection, and they're just not capable of it. That's the number one problem. They everything is it goes back to all the narratives that they're told that this is the problem why we lost, and they can't even look at themselves honestly and just say, hey, we made a mistake and we shouldn't have done this or done that or said this or said that. And they just still insist that we're all totalitarians and, terrible people. and Trump is a totalitarian and a terrible person. And okay, so keep making the same mistakes over and over.
Exactly right. Who's your person that was very relevant and now is not?
Bill Spector.
That's a very good one. Well, after the stuff he was involved in, you can understand, allegedly, you can understand how that happens.
He was huge. Yeah, he was huge, though, until he did River Deep and Mountain High with Tina Turner, which was a great song.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but it just didn't go over commercially, and then, he just kind of started to fade away, and then, of course, we found out all the other stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Then there's the hair, too, all-time hair. Thank you, David. That's a good one. Yeah, he was very, very big. All right, here's Morning Joe. And Joe's trying to make the point, why couldn't Republicans just say, all right, that's high for butter? But really, the election's based on that. And he mentions there $3 for butter. I went online to Land O'Lakes at Giant today, and they give you a break, at least the headline says, since you buy it online. And Mika actually has pretty much the right price. Listen to this.
That probably contributed a good deal to it. I want to talk about economy for a second. A few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, somebody who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris came up to me and said, "Oh my God, Trump's going to win." I go, "Why is that?" He goes, I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it? Said it to myself.
Stop there for a second, Dan. So he's reducing the whole election. This guy's mocking him to the cost of butter. It's over $3. You mean the election's based on that? Okay.
I said, well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it? Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, good point. But it actually, everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just saying, the 7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
Yeah.
What? Is it framed in gold?
Yeah, what kind of butter?
Anyway. Depends on where you go. But...
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, my point is this, Willie. The rent is too damn high, and this guy was saying the cost of butter is way damn too high.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a bit reductive. It ended up being just the point that if you look at the cost of groceries, if you look at the cost
All right,
of
we got you, Joe. Well, you didn't know them. I mean, you complete Mika just saying 7.
Way out of touch there, Joey.
Yeah, exactly. $7. And it is around that. Stuff like that sticks with people. They're not going to be told by Sonny Hostin and the ladies on The View or Kamala Harris or anybody else that they didn't do this. They did it, and you experience it all the time. Don't bring the cost of gas in. That shifted back. Let's not. The only thing that matters with energy, one of the keys that Trump is going to do to get us actually to move backward on inflation, not just what the rate is energy. Freeing up energy will start to push back on that. Now, the other things that are going to be done, I'm going to be interested in seeing what the best advice is. But every time they say, well, inflation's down, it's one of the stupidest comments imaginable. It's baked in. The rate goes down, then it goes up a little bit, et cetera. All right, 855-839-1210. Let me tell you about Dr. Bentz for a moment. My friend and dentist, board-certified prosthodontist extraordinaire, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group in East Norriton. Dr. Bentz has his own great skill. Other dentists send people there all the time. I've seen that. He's very good, he and his staff, at making people comfortable. You don't feel like, oh, man, I hate the dentist. I'm going. It's nothing like that. There's even chocolate chip cookies there. Next time I'm over, why don't you take a couple for the road? Yeah. The thing he does, though, he marries the personal with great technology. And that 3D printer that actually makes your teeth and everything else that they have there is world class. John, who's an artisan who actually makes the teeth, along with all the technology, is as skilled as anybody you're going to find. When you put that together, what you achieve is efficient results and consistency. You got to have both things at top level to get that. That means you're not coming back all the time. It means the first time they put the tooth in, it's going to be fine. You won't find this at this level anywhere else. Get that great care that I've gotten for 10 years with Dr. Bentz and the team at The Bentz Dental Group, solutions for the most complex dental cases. You reach them at 610-272-6949. You can check all this out at BentzDentalGroup.com, BentzDentalGroup.com. Call 610-272-6949. Remember, say it with a smile.
Dom Giordano.
People constantly calling in the station today. Get Presler. What are you thinking about next? What does Scott Presler want to do next?
Sleep.
2026 is around the corner.
Yes.
And the governorship is there, 2028, to elect J.D. Vance as the next president of the United States. I mean, I'm always forward thinking. The gears are always turning.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Business owners can count on McCausland Lock and Alarm to secure and control access to their facilities. Enjoy peace of mind while their access control and CCTV systems provide top-of-the-line protection for your assets. Tom McCausland's wealth of experience allows McCausland to effectively protect all types of facilities in any environment, and their customer service is unmatched. Call today, 610-430-1500. 610-430-1500. McCausland Lock and Alarm, securing your business, securing your future.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Wawa's Hot Turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because Hot Turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/rain to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/rain. That's leaffilter.com/rain.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
I forgot, I teased it. What would Dan like at these colleges? The Legos, the cocoa, the pause for pause, the cats, the crafts? No. The baked potato bar.
Oh,
that's what they were having at the university.
In high school for lunch for an entire year. I would just my cafeteria had a baked potato bar where you could dress a potato how you wanted it with with like cheese. Oh, the public schools in Indiana, man, somehow they're able to make it work, but New Jersey can't.
At this college, that's how they're getting over the Trump era.
We'll get some sour cream, some shredded cheese.
I forgot to mention the baked potatoes on my mind.
On point there.
Lightning round, sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. See the store for details. They always go the extra mile for their customers because relationships matter.
You doing sour cream and chive, or are you doing like a fully loaded?
No, nothing.
Real?
I love the baked
You just
potato.
do dry baked potato?
The dry baked potato.
No.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I'm not fooling around. Robert Kennedy's not getting anything here
nice
with me.
seasoned like skin though, still though, right? Like salt and pepper on the skin, or are you just talking like
butter? I don't put salt on anything.
No,
That's
just straight
impossible.
potato.
Straight potato.
$7 stick of butter?
I am.
No, that's right. You get Joe Scarborough delivering it. Yes, that might work. All right, let's go to Robert. We beat that to death in Salem. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hi, Dom. Dan, it's good to talk to you, and I'll be quick and keep it to one point. For people who don't think their votes count, please consider this. 450,000 votes cast in Bucks County, and Mr. Trump won by 512. That's how close it was.
That's exactly right, and we count that as a big win. I want signs out there in Bucks County, Pat Povrek. Bucks County went for Trump 2024. Put them up.
And my prediction's looking good, and Florida is now the third biggest state electoral-wise. They just passed New York. That's huge news. I'll talk about it more later. But my person who jumped the shark, that's what I'm going to call it, jumped the shark, was Barack Obama. All that mojo he had when he was president and running for president is gone. It didn't move the needle one bit. You guys have yourselves a great day.
I think I could top it, although that's true. Obama, usually comes in at the 11th hour. Bill Clinton, oh, my God, how bad that was this time. The stuff that he said and how he looked, really bad. Scott on Mount Laurel, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Don, my guy was going to bring down Trump to the point where the left was talking about even having him run for president, Michael Avenatti.
Oh, that's, quite a bit. Now, look. That guy is a pretty good debater. When he was on with Tucker Carlson, he held his own, in my view. I mean, that guy is very tough, despite all the baggage, the creepy porn lawyer. Yeah.
And I am proud to be in the cadre of Dom Giordano's South Jersey Republican.
Yes. Imagine that guy. He's in a beef with Bob Brady now. Tell him I'm going to tag in here. Bob Brady and I against this guy. Scott, who became irrelevant?
We might have to make shirts up.
Yeah.
We might have to make shirts up and send them one.
Who's irrelevant now?
Well, Michael Avenatti was my guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now. Yeah, you said it was so funny. I got you, Scott. Thank you. Yeah, Avenatti. I think he's out of jail. Bill and Bucks. Bill, afternoon.
Greetings from Trump County.
Yes.
My person that fell out of favor was a former Saturday Night Live cast member and former U.S. Senator from Minnesota, Al Franken.
A guy who won by what? Was it 480 votes they found in a car seat or something?
Yeah, then there was a picture exposed when he was with a woman.
Yes.
And it was unflattering during the Me Too movement.
Exactly. Yeah, Franken's a good one. Let's go to the Earl of Tacony. Earl, we got about 30 seconds. What's yours?
I'm going to go with one of Rush Limbaugh's former sponsors, the Justice Brothers, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. When they showed up on TV, everyone was scared, and now no one even cares.
Yeah, even the Reverend Al Sharpton is pretty irrelevant. Okay, we got great ones here to figure out today. By the way, Minnie, it's not irrelevant. We're going to do what's worth the calories one of these days. Maybe tomorrow, the movie scene, you got to shut people up. You can't be disturbed with. We'll debate it. Henry, who did you like today?
Yeah, a lot of these are very irrelevant because I don't know who they are at
yes,
all.
Okay.
Except for like Obama and the Justice Brothers,
right.
So I'll pick Mason Reese.
The Mason Reese. Cool. All right, how about yours?
I have a reason behind it real quick, Dom. We were watching a DNC night at Philadelphia. We had Ricky Martin come out, and I go, oh, the guy from Menudo. Maisie goes, what the hell's Menudo? I'm going to go with Menudo, Joan Bordentown's answer.
All right, I can go with Menudo, too.
All right,
Although
Joan
I was
Bordentown
tempted with Obama. I'll go with that. Okay, so we have that going on. Rich Zioles in the on-deck circle, ready to take you through. Tomorrow, big show as we round off the week on this. And we'll have a great side question, Dom's Money Melody. Follow on Twitter until then, at DomShow1210. And I'll try to come up with the top 10 list for tomorrow. Help me out. What were the moments, big moments, you think you really remember or were pivotal? Yeah, I'll put the assassination in there, even though the media really downplayed it. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You know why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo? Because I want to make sure that my searches are private and out of anybody's data